The Alabama Shakes starts off another Sam Roberts show. Welcome, live here on a Friday afternoon, as we always are on Opie Radio. Go ahead and call in now, 866-969-1969, 866-969-1969. You too can be a part of my show, Sam Roberts Show, with yours truly. You can follow along on Twitter at NotSam. If you have been following along, and on Instagram and Facebook as well, at NotSam. And if you had been following along this whole time, then you already know today's show is something to get excited about. I mean, you talk about having loaded shows, and we've been having a lot of very exciting shows. If you've missed any of them, they're always up on SiriusXM On Demand. But today, all today alone, this afternoon, here with you, on this Eggplant Friday, I've got Natasha Leggero coming in. Natasha Leggero is a great comedian. She's not in town very often. She's L.A.-based, but she's done a lot of stuff. She was in season 2 of Joe Schmo. She was she's done a lot of podcasts. She's been in the industry for a long, long time. She's very, very, very funny. So Natasha Leggero will be here in studio, as well as she is, and maybe we'll get into this with her, she is the female that is the catalyst behind the Bobby Lee Ari Shaffir story that we've explored in depth here on Sam Roberts Show. So that will be very, very interesting. Also in studio today, I guess it's ladies' night because Katie Linendahl will be here. You all remember Katie. She's my friend who works on Today's Show and CNN, and I think she was on The View or something this week. I saw her tweet about it. I don't know, but she was at the UFO convention. She went to Arizona and went to the big national UFO convention. And so I'm going to ask her all about that. She was covering it for NBC News, so she had to take it super seriously. And it's the most bizarre thing you've ever seen. I'll talk to Katie Linendahl. I saved the best for last. No disrespect to either of those two females. Will Forte will be on the show today. In just a little bit, Will Forte will be stopping by. He's got a brand new show on Fox. You know him from SNL and MacGruber and Nebraska. Now he's got a new show called The Last Man on Earth, in which he plays the last man on Earth. And, I mean, it really is a good show. I really enjoyed it. I watched it last night, and I thought it was great. In between I had to time it very well. I had to follow llamas. Then I watched the Will Forte show. Then I turned on the Slap so I could live tweet that. And I think Nicole's running around here somewhere, so I might get her in here, too, to talk about the Slap. Then I watched SmackDown and covered blue and black dress coverage at the same time. It was a very busy social media night for me last night. I felt like I was doing a show from my house, but there was nobody in there with me. I think one of the reasons why I like the Will Forte show so much, Last Man on Earth, is because part of the first episode when they're establishing premise is that there's nobody else around, so he can do whatever he wants, and he lives in complete filth. He doesn't throw anything out. He doesn't put anything away. He lives in filth, in garbage. It's everywhere. And at first, you'd like to think to yourself, oh, I could never live that way. I would never live in filth. I'm a human being. I couldn't degrade myself to that level of having hamburger wrappers at my feet everywhere I go. But what if there's nobody around? Like, what if nobody is judging you whatsoever? I'm going to tell you that my wife has been out of town for 4 days. 4 days I've had the apartment to myself. Not one thing has been thrown out in 4 days. Nothing has been thrown out in 4 days because I already know she's coming back on Friday night. So I'm going to have to at least tidy up a little bit. I'll take care of everything on Friday night. It's no problem. The bed hasn't been made, not once. Not once, not never. There's been nothing thrown out. There's empty glasses that I've had beverages out of. Nothing's been put in the dishwasher. The dishwasher certainly hasn't been run. I opened the dishwasher last night. I don't remember why, but I opened it up, and I go, oh, I guess I didn't go through a lot of dishes while Jess has been gone. And then I realized, oh, wait, no, they're all over the living room. That's what's separating this.
Yeah, you probably opened up the dishwasher because you needed another dish.
Right. Be like, oh, I bet they're clean in here. Clean enough. Clean? Maybe not, but clean enough? Sure. And that's the other thing. Like, if I have a glass that I'm drinking water out of, in this scenario, that can be the water glass for the week. There's no reason why you can't finish your glass of water, leave it in its spot, and then when it's time for more water, go get yourself back to the faucet. You got a glass. No problem. That cupboard doesn't need to be open. I'm conserving energy and soap and everything, but I mean, it led me to believe that show, his portrayal of just living in filth, is absolutely accurate, because I've been given a couple of days to be on my own, and it's just filth. You clean up when there's a reason to clean up, but if there's nobody coming over, fuck it. Like, if I had 0 friends, which I'm getting closer and closer to every day, but if I had 0 friends, like I never saw anybody, I would probably be a garbage hoarder. But somebody but the clutter cleaners would come over to my house, and they go, Sam, I know you feel attached to all this stuff. I go, no. They go, we're going to come and clean up your apartment. I go, great. They go, you're not going to give us a hard time? I go, no. And they go, why? Why would you keep all this stuff if it's not, like, near and dear to you? I didn't feel like throwing it out. I mean, if you're going to throw it out, great. I don't have any attachment to it. I don't have a disease. It's just laziness. I don't understand. Lucas in Buffalo, welcome to Sam Roberts Show.
Sam, hey.
What's up, pal?
Hey, no, I complete with you 110%. My fiance is going out of town next weekend for a conference in Washington.
Yeah.
And I've already got planned out, Netflix, Xbox, no cleaning up.
It's the most... It's the most amazing thing in the world, and I think I was under the assumption, and I assume a lot of things, and that's what makes me. That's the biggest factor in what makes me a complete idiot. But right. I assume things all the time. I assume everybody feels the way I feel. Everybody around me must feel the way I feel, because the way that I feel seems so justified all the time. And so I was sitting. We were having dinner at my parents' house like a couple weeks ago. And my wife Jess was talking about all the appointments that she makes on Saturday mornings, and then she leaves the house at like 8 o'clock and she's not back until noon, and then she's talking about her appointments, and I go, yeah, it's great. Like, I've been setting an alarm to go off at 8:30 just so I can have the time, and exactly. And Jess stared daggers into me, like she was like, you've been setting an alarm? I was like, yeah, because. No, it's just because, just because you don't like the stuff that I like. I just, you've been setting why would you have to set an alarm? I'll watch TV with you. And I'm like, oh no, I'm in way too. I was kidding. I was only kidding.
No, it's so true though. Like, when wifey, she's like, okay, I got appointments from, like you said, 8 to noon.
Yeah.
I'll get up at 8:30. Don't do shit until about 11:45.
Yes.
Give me that 15 minutes. And it's like, oh, okay, you've been doing good. Yeah, I've been working around the house, and really I'm jerking off and watching pro wrestling. That's all it is.
Masturbating, wrestling, and leaving things everywhere. Give me a text right before you're coming home, honey. No problem. Like, exactly. That's all you She was like, yeah, I'm flying back on Friday. I go, yeah, but what time? Like, is it before the show? No, it'll be late at night. Okay, all right. So I'll have a couple of hours to do my shit. Tony in Brooklyn.
Sammy, you're 100% right. I'm a 45-year-old male. I got a kid. And when my wife and kid are out of town, if it's on a weekend, I don't even shower.
Yeah, I almost feel like when animals resent their owners, they just start sitting around in their own shit. Like, they shit all over their beds and just roll around in it because they're like, fuck you, I don't like you. I'm just going to shit all over myself. And I started to get that feeling last night. Like, I'm looking around, there's shoes and underwear and cutlery and food wrappers and all this stuff. It's just everywhere. Every surface is covered. And I said, I think this is me rebelling against everything Jess has ever asked me to do. I'm shitting in my space just to be like, fuck you. Of course, I'm going to clean up all that shit, a good amount of time before she gets home.
But how nice is it to leave a plate of Chinese food, or like not even a plate, just like a fucking container of Chinese food on the coffee table for 3 days, and the brown rice, and the rice starts to harden and caramelize and stuff like that?
It's perfect. I got like sweet and sour chicken the other day, and I just left it out thinking, you know what? I might go back to that. You know how long it took me to eat dinner last night? 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours of just slowly picking at dinner. Because why not? I cooked up some bacon, made BLTs, and ate them for 3.5 hours. Because nobody was rushing me along. I didn't have anything else to do. And I knew I wasn't going to wash the dishes tonight, so who cares?
Now, the only thing I can tell you is that my brother, who's younger than I am, he went to Ohio State. He's like 13 years younger. And he was living in a frat house, and the filth of the frat house It's just, imagine, how bad it stinks. I'm like, oh, he says, you can stay at my frat house on the couch. And I got out there for a football game one night. I was like, dude, I'll stay at the Motel 6. I couldn't even handle it,
Yeah, well, you can't. When it's your own filth, it's manageable. When it's someone else's filth, it's like, that's disgusting. I would never stay in a house like this unless I left all that filth where it is.
Yeah, I mean, forget going out like the strip clubs and stuff like that. I just want to sit home, like that guy said, and play PlayStation and just watch TV.
I wonder if that means we've given up on life, that like finally we get freedom, and our sense of freedom is just to not do anything, like to not be a person anymore.
Well, there's so few days out there that you actually get to do what you want to do. You know what I mean?
I mean, Jess never understands it when she goes, "Do you have any plans this weekend?" Nope. What do you want to do? Thought I made that clear. Nothing. Like, that's it. That's the answer. We don't need to make plans because there aren't any. How about we try doing nothing?
That's a perfect night for me, brother.
Yeah, buddy. I'll talk to you later. Let's go to... And, I mean, I work all the time, so it's like the moments I can get, I'm not going to spend them being social. I'm not going to spend them, like, trying to figure out... Like, I'd just rather spend them in my own filth. Mike in Boston.
Hey, Sammy.
Yeah, buddy.
First-time listener, long-time caller.
Thanks.
Just wanted to know, if Jess wasn't in the picture, how long do you go between changing your sheets there?
Oh, my God. I mean, I'd probably say seasonally, 4 times a year. Time to break out the Christmas sheets. Oh, yeah. I get some flannel sheets, and then I get some jersey sheets for the fall, and then I get some regular sheets for the spring, but it's only one set of each. And once a season, just as the season was starting to change, I'd go, yep, sheet changing time.
Yeah, I know it's time to change when I wake up in the morning and I got that musty stink sweat, and I'll still give them another 3 weeks before I'm like, all right, I'm just getting dirty here.
Yeah, I remember, thanks, buddy, when I was living on my own, like in school, and you'd go, okay, now the pillowcase smells like unwashed hair. I'm not exactly sure what I should be washing here. Because I don't want to put down a new pillowcase because my hair is still unwashed, and I don't want to stink up the new pillowcase. But I don't want to wash my hair because that will take 15 minutes. So I think I'm just going to stick with things the way they are. But yeah, I was just looking around going, oh yeah, like memories. Oh, that's a memory from Tuesday. I remember when I put that there and haven't moved it since. Let's go to Joe in New Jersey. What's up, Joe?
Hey, Sam. How you doing?
Good.
So I'm kind of agreeing with you about this whole want to do nothing thing.
Yes.
I just got a new job. Right? And I'm making more money. And I always said, hey, I got a new job. I'm going to go out. I'm going to do things. I'm going to meet people, be social. And then it gets this weekend, and all I want to do is watch the new House of Cards season that just came out.
That's it. And that's the other thing. I can't watch some of these shows without her because she'll be pissed. Like, I can't watch House of Cards yet because I can't watch it till she comes home. So instead, I end up watching The Slap and just sitting in my own filth.
Well, see, I don't even have that ball and chain holding me back. So, I mean, that's like...
That's the way to do it, dude. That is the way to do it. Trust me. Go.
Right,
stay. I feel like I'm Billy Madison talking to that fat kid in school. Stay here. Stay as long as you can. Never leave. Let's go to Marcus in Toronto. What's up, Marcus?
Hey, Sammy, you have no idea how much free time you have being childless. As soon as you have kids, dude, it's all fucking over.
Oh, I can't imagine. I can't. It's not. Honestly, it's not something I want to do right now, just because of that fact. Like
I'm not trying to scare you, but the free time you have now, all of that gets devoted to your kids. Like, it's gotten to the point now. Like, I've got an 8 and a 10-year-old. And I'm a long-time video game guy. It's gotten to the point now on a Saturday morning or Sunday morning, I'll set my alarm for 6:30 just so I can have a couple hours in my man cave to play fucking Xbox with no interruption.
Right, because it's like, this isn't for kids. This video game is not for kids. Get out of here.
You got it.
You suck at the game. I'm not letting you win. You're 4. You're dog shit at this. I've been working at this for 30 years, okay? I know what I'm doing. I don't need your Tootsie Roll fingers. They're all sticky, fucking up my shit. This is an adult gaming system.
You got it, brother.
And then your wife is like, why wouldn't you let the kid? It's a game. He has fun with it, too. He sucks.
I know.
He's terrible. Tell him to go play online somewhere else, get his skill level up, and then maybe the two of you can be on the same page.
then we'll talk.
Yeah. All right, Marcus. Thanks, buddy.
Okay.
I'm glad that this is something going on internationally. That was Toronto. We have a female here on Sam Roberts Show. Let's go to Michelle in Kentucky.
Hey, Sammy.
How are you, Michelle?
I'm doing well. It's Friday.
Yeah, it is.
So I do the same thing. When my husband goes out of town for work,
You just see your husband goes out of town for work, and it's just you on the couch scrolling through, searching Eggplant Friday tweets, trying to find something that tickles your fancy.
oh, you found me out. No, but he just like OCD about a clean house. You know what I mean? So it's like I have a mini vacay to where, I got glasses and dishes in the sink, clothes are on the floor,
Good for you. Now, I wouldn't want to be with you, if the two of us got together, and by the sound of this phone call, I think it sounds like that's where it's headed. You would have to improve your situation because I couldn't have that around me. But at the same time, it's very nice to do by yourself. And Jess, this chick is OCD in the same way. We've had arguments, screaming matches over the fact that there are things on the surfaces. She goes, every surface in this house has something on it. And I'm like, yeah, they're tables. They're built to put things on top of. No, they're not. Not everything needs something on top of it. You can't be on the floor. Put it on a table.
I got the same thing. It's like in the bathroom, I use a lot of beauty products and whatnot. Everything has to be underneath the sink. Well, it doesn't need to be out. You're not using it right now. So put it back under the sink. I was like, but it's the bathroom. You know what I mean?
And you're like, yeah, dude, guess what? I'm going to have to get under the sink and pull it out again tomorrow. So what happens if we skip that step? How about being productive for once in your life?
Exactly.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you,
but
Michelle.
I am good at mistakes. I was going to say, but I am, when he is at home, I just go back into it. But it's like I said, it's like a vacation when I'm by myself back in the college days,
Great. I think they call that a staycation, Michelle. That's why they call it that.
Exactly. Take care.
All right. Let's go to Brad in Ohio.
Hi, what's going on, Sam?
What's up, buddy?
Yeah, I was just going to see what you thought about my showering habits. I usually go once a week unless I've exercised. If I exercise and sweat profusely, obviously I'm taking a shower. I'm not a sick bastard or anything.
No, of course not.
Once a week, sometimes even once every 2 weeks.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a service engineer.
So what does that mean? Do you interact with human beings?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you really don't smell as bad as, I don't have BO. And
you probably do. You almost definitely do.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you definitely do.
You think he does, Adrian?
Yeah, because I have a friend who used to not shower.
Hang on a sec, Brad.
$1 million microscope, and my customers have never complained to my boss.
I mean, I think you have polite customers because I think there are people who are like, no, I can get away with not showering for 2 weeks. And it's like, you definitely can't.
I have a friend who used to do it.
Now, a friend who used to shower when? How often?
Once every 2 weeks.
See,
dude, I don't have to.
Yes, you do. That's a vacation thing. That's a thing where your wife or your husband, in Michelle's case, filthy woman, is going out of town for a couple of days. Yeah. So then you can take a day off from being a person.
And you enjoy that funk you get.
But if literally your thing is that you only shower a couple times a week, I will not get behind that because you're a disgusting person.
Yeah.
Now you, Adrian, were just writing me a note. You have a concept of a lay day.
Lay day.
Explain to me what a lay day is.
It's basically exactly what you're talking about, but you spend the majority of the day just laying.
Laying.
You lay.
How often do you have a lay day?
I like to lay day once a week to once every 2 weeks.
Okay.
It won't be the entire day.
How long?
10 to 12 hours.
Okay, so how much long? So you sound like the Christopher Walken SNL skit when he's got the census guy at his door. I work part time. There's dozens of hours every week that I'm not working. Many of them sleeping. It's like, yeah, but 10 to 12 hours a day. And by the way, that was me doing that Walken impression just now. It was good. Not Christopher Walken did not just walk in here.
Not a lot of people do that.
No, yeah, that's me. That's mine. But 10 to 12 hours of laying is the entire day.
No, it's not.
What else are you doing?
Well, you get up to go to the bathroom.
Understood.
And then you wake up around 9 a.m. And let's say you go 12 hours, then around 9 p.m. you get your shower if you have to.
If you're
going out with just your guy friends,
evening plans,
you carry that underwear funk with you because the whole time you're in undies.
And they're like, "What's that smell?" And you just look at them and go, "Lay day, bro."
Yeah, exactly. It's been lay day.
You are a bro in every sense of the word.
Well, I don't agree with that.
Well, absolutely. Travis, You are up with the youth culture. Have you ever met a more clearer bro than Adrian?
Adrian is by far our biggest bro we've ever had.
You're by far the smelliest boy we've ever had. Yes, he is 100% bro.
If Travis says it, I'll take it.
What's that supposed to mean? What about me?
Well, I mean,
I said it. Okay, I know what's going on. Okay, you should have seen me live tweeting this dress thing last night. I was
did.
on fire.
I was wondering, do you ever sleep?
No, I don't sleep.
Do you lay?
You know why? Because I got too much energy going on. It's circulating through my blood. You know why? Because I don't take lay days, okay? I work day.
Try it.
When I say that I'm sitting around doing nothing, I mean like I'll get like an hour and a half to do nothing. Like that's for me, that's my lay day. If I can find an hour and a half where I'm doing nothing, that's a great lay day. Okay? Sam Roberts is not born from lay days, okay?
You don't do nothing while you lay. You Netflix or you play video games.
That's the thing. That's
you whack it.
Yeah, I do masturbate at times, but the torture of my life is the undue pressure that I put on myself. Honestly, this show is weekly. I need to fill 3 hours of content a week. It's not rocket science, okay? It's very, very easy. It's you could just do it. But I sit around, and if at any point in the day I'm doing something that could be classified as a lay day, quote unquote, activity, I make myself crazy going, how do I make this interesting for the air? How is this productive to my end goal? How is it 24 hours a day? It's torture. I'm sitting there going to sleep at night going, well, do I need to go to sleep right now? I could, watch this and then talk about it on the air tomorrow and blah, blah, blah. I don't talk about 90% of the stuff that goes on in my head. And I'll come up with these great ideas on like a Tuesday. And of course, by Friday, I've either forgotten them or they're completely, I don't need them at all anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm ready for Wednesday's show that doesn't exist. So I don't have that thing that I can just lay day out, bro out, as it were. I mean, it sounds great.
It's very relaxing.
That sounds very, very relaxing. John in New Hyde Park.
Sammy, I don't know about you, but I never sleep in my bed when the old wifey's away. I find myself waking up. First of all the lights are on. I never turn them off. Second of all, I find myself waking up at like 3 o'clock in the morning with a bag of Fritos stuck to my face and the TV blaring, and I just turn off the TV and go back to sleep.
You're living the dream, dude. And then the next time you wake up is whenever there's something you have to do.
Exactly.
You are living the dream. That's like next level. I need to get there in my freedom as a human being. I'm going to try to get Jess to start taking like every other week off for work. Like I'm going to try to make her bi-coastal. I've been trying to make her buy the other thing for a while. It has not been taken off, but at least bi-coastal. Then, and it's like if she meets a new guy when she's out in L.A., it's okay, more time for me, right?
Maybe you can fit in a lay day.
Right. Maybe if she does that, I could fit in a lay day finally. Mm-hmm. Goals, Adrian. It's all about setting up goals for a human being. Oh, boy. But, yeah, I mean, I've been catching up on everything. I got caught up on a bunch of episodes of that show, Empire. I was watching Empire on demand. Which is just a ridiculous show. It's like the black version of Nashville. But it's an insane show. It makes no sense. I was also watching, I guess I was getting a cultural education for myself. Because I watched several episodes of that show, Empire. And then I watched, what's the Asian guy's show, Fresh Off the Boat?
With Eddie Wang.
Yeah. I watched
really
his show.
Good, right?
That show's really good.
Randall
That's a
Park?
sitcom on ABC. And the guy who played Kim Jong-un in the interview is in it. And then there's a funny little kid in it, too. But that's this, Eddie Wang is like this, Wang or Wang?
I think it's Wang.
Whatever. It's Eddie H. is,
Wang, right?
I mean, come on.
Ching Chong.
Like, that's not what I'm telling you. No, you're getting racist now, and I don't want anything to do with it. No, it's off. It's off. It's off. I gave you a little bit. I gave you some rope. You'll get a little more maybe next week. Okay? Okay. Yeah, because it's a really funny show about this guy, Eddie Huang, who's like he's a chef, but he's fucking hilarious. He wrote a book and they turned it into a sitcom. I would recommend it. Hopefully we'll get him on the show. I talked to Roland about getting him on the show and we could talk about it more then. John in VA.
Hey, Sam, so you were saying that on your own time on Tuesdays, you plan shows that you could, say, do on Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
And why don't you just save all that information on your hard drive of hits?
It is a very Dennis Falcone thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good show,
I see the similarity, dude. It's hard. Look, if I continue this for another 20 years and it's still like, oh, Sam's doing a hobby show still. Look at him. He still wants it. And I'm still prepping for shows I don't have. Then we can talk. But as of now, I feel like I'm right on the cusp of work ethic versus just pathetic. I'm right on the line there. I have to make clear definitions now. Because I'm right on that in-between of this kid's gonna make it, and oh, the poor guy. I'm right there. I've made it to the the poor guy line, and I think over the next year or so, I'm going to develop either into like, okay, yeah, this dude's got his shit together. I think he's the next big thing, or oh, he just wants it so bad. The poor guy. He's still going for it. It's gonna one of those two things is gonna happen. I promise you. CJ in California.
Hey, Sammy.
What's up, buddy?
Yeah, listen, this whole lazy day thing it's great, and I envy you guys out there on the East Coast, especially in the cities. It's freezing cold. You guys don't have to do yard work. There's no yards. You guys live in apartments, so
yeah.
We out here, it's like we have a lazy day. If you do a lazy day more than
I do, CJ, have to correct you. I don't know if it's an East Coast, West Coast thing, but here on the East Coast, it's referred to, I just learned from Adrian, as a lay day, because it's a day that you spend laying. I mean, Adrian, let me just paint a picture of Adrian. Adrian is the only he already knows what I'm going to do. He's the only 23? He's 23, right? You talking about fresh off the boat. This is Adrian. He comes in here, he has no broadcast experience. I let him take the captain seat over there behind the Google computer. Feet are up on the console. You see that? Have you ever seen anything like that in your life before?
I don't think I've seen anyone put their feet up as much in the few months that he's been working here.
His feet are always up. I've yelled at him.
10 years I've been here, I don't think I've put up my feet that much.
He says he has bad knees.
He loves those feet being up.
And I have yelled at him, Adrian, multiple times because he comes into the office and he scratches his back on the door like a fucking bear.
Does he?
Yes. Like a bear who's not a human being, who's got no work ethic, who's just lazy. And I said, never do that in my presence. Never.
He's smart. He's pacing himself. That's
yeah, I mean, look,
young man.
I've seen a lot more lazy people succeed around here than motivated people. All the motivated people I've seen around here end up like getting out of here and just falling into a depression because their radio dreams ended. The lazy people end up succeeding. We'll see. Adrian's saying he's not lazy, but we'll see. We'll see. Thanks, CJ. Let's go to my pal Larry in Kansas. What's up, Larry?
Sam Roberts, the quintessential professional broadcaster. I'm mystified sometimes why you apologize for positive assets. There's nothing wrong with being organized. There's nothing wrong with having a list of things to do and actually accomplish them as long as you're not anal about it. I think, and I love the Denny. Lord knows I love the Denny. I think you understand that I love the Denny. But Denny's preparing for things that will probably never happen.
Right.
Now, granted, if they ever do happen, he's ready to go. He's cock-locked and ready to rock.
Right.
But in most cases, it is to no avail. But for you to have a list of tasks to accomplish the next day and then actually accomplish them, that's a positive thing, Sammy. You go places. You get things done. You are, by all accounts, without dispute, a professional broadcaster.
That's right. And I'll tell you this. I do make a list of stuff that I want to accomplish, and I do accomplish it. And as far as being anal, I never take it in the ass.
Well, of course not. You're Sam Roberts, the great Sam Roberts, the man, the myth, the legend.
Right. Thank you very much, Larry, for reminding me what's at stake here. A whole bunch of people calling in about Adrian hosting the pre-show. That'll happen on Monday.
Yeah.
However, that's an issue for the morning show to take care of. And look, here's my statement on it. I think Adrian has the potential to succeed. It's not a hugely difficult thing to do, and I'm my advice would be to just try to do the job that you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my advice. Doug in California.
Hey, buddy, what's up?
What's up, pal?
Hey, man, this Adrian guy is showing some bad signs, man. I mean, cracking the mic, on a major national radio show.
That's right.
Without any blessing from you.
This isn't the Adrian gets into fight with callers show, but he'll have his time to shine when he gets it. And I will say this, Adrian's been a positive addition to the Sam Roberts Show team.
Thank you.
Now I'm turning your mic off. That's enough of that. We got a lot to get to today. I'm going to take an early break because Mark Normand is coming in here. Very, very funny comic. He's done the show before. He's got a little bit of time to hang out today. So Mark Normand's going to come in here. We're going to do some chatting. Then, still to come on today's show, I've got Natasha Leggero. I've got Katie Linendahl. I've got Will Forte coming in. And Nicole is fucking running around here like a chicken with her head cut off. But I'm going to try to at least grab her for a few minutes. All that still to come. A lot to talk about today on Sam Roberts' show.
Sam Roberts' Friday Show is back.
Lazy Sunday, wake up in the late afternoon. Call Parnell just to see how he's doing. Hello, what up, Parn? Yo, Sandberg, what's cracking?
It's a perfect lay day song. Lazy Sunday. Welcome back to Sam Roberts' show here on OB Radio. Call up the show, 866-969-1969, 866-969-1969. You can also tweet along. My Twitter name is @NotSam. And if you were following that Twitter, number one, as I said at the top of the show, you know all about the people that are coming in today. You know, Natasha Leggero is going to be here in a little bit. Will Forte is going to be here in a little bit, speaking of SNL. But if you were following the late-breaking tweets, the stuff that just went out just now, then you would already know that in studio with me at this time is Mark Normand. What's up, man?
Hey, good to be
Oh,
here.
why isn't the...
Oh, boy.
There you go.
Good to be here, Sam.
It's good to have you.
Thanks. Yeah, hungover.
Yeah, are you hungover?
Oh, I'm dying.
What happened?
I just, had a couple whiskeys, and one thing led to another. Then, before you know it, you're at home crying.
Did you underestimate your tolerance?
I got pretty good tolerance, but I did this thing where I haven't drank for like 2 weeks, and I think I started drinking, and it just hit me.
Your body started to get healthy again. You were like, no, this isn't going to work.
Exactly.
Why didn't you drink for 2 weeks? Any reason?
I went to the Middle East.
Really?
And I did comedy for the troops or whatnot. And, I was so homesick and jet lagged and depressed that I was drinking to try to get back to zero, and I was just guzzling booze just to try to get my head straight, and I ruined my body. So then when I came back, I was like, I'm gonna take it easy.
So were you depressed because you were jet lagged, and then just your life, or were you depressed because of the troops, or
just the Middle East sucks? Yeah. Oh my God, I don't know if you've ever heard this, but it's a terrible place.
I've never been, so I mean, I see on the news that they say it's not great, but
oh yeah,
but so that's accurate.
I mean, I have a joke about it. I say it's just sand, and then a mile later it's a building, then more. It's like being on the moon if the moon hated gays. Boy, they hate the gays over there.
They do. But did you have to actually experience the Middle East, or were you pretty much on military bases the whole time?
Well, the first day they put you in a hotel, a real westernized hotel. Mm-hmm. We were in an Intercontinental. The hotel was great, but you're just so lonely, and there's a language barrier. And
did you go over with anyone?
I went over with 2 British comics.
But did you know them?
I didn't know them.
Oh, so it's not like your buddies.
Exactly. So you kind of force yourself to hang out with them, and that's a little weird. They were great, but
British.
But British, yeah. The teeth, the accent,
yeah.
So, and then I went out, I was like, I'm going to go out, I'm going to make this an experience, I'm going to see the Middle East, and I went out, and 20 minutes in, I'm like, I got to go back, this is brutal.
This is not great.
It's just scary, and you get, you get stopped everywhere by guys with machine guns.
Were you by yourself?
I would just walk around, yeah.
Oh, my God. So what, not even in a car, while you're walking around, people are stopping you?
Yeah, I mean, mostly in a car, I would get a taxi, and if you want to go through a certain neighborhood, they have to stop the taxi, look in the trunk, the whole thing. Brutal.
Wow.
Brutal.
So what do they say when they stop you?
They go, blah, 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 and they look
You don't know what they're saying?
Yeah, and then they go, okay, you're good, and they wave, and then you drive through.
Did you have any moments where you were like, this may not go well?
Yeah, I went to a brothel one night. That's how lonely I was. I met this dude named Hamad. Cool cat.
Where'd you meet Hamad?
Met him at the hotel.
Very good.
I mean, I was dying out there. I was just looking for any contact. I had sex with this fat Irish girl, too, just to, feel some... She was like the Michelin Man. It was horrific. But I just needed something. But, I was talking to this guy, Hamad, and we went out drinking, and he goes, you want to meet some ladies? I said, yeah, sure. Let's go to a bar with some girls, because it was all just weird, men there.
Middle Eastern dudes.
Yeah. And so we went to this brothel, and it was pretty hot. I mean, they were just, Filipino chicks and, basically bra and panties walking around this nightclub, and you could just go, you, me, whatever. And
how much was it?
It was about $100 for everything.
That's a pretty good deal.
Pretty good.
That's a pretty great deal.
But I got I talked to this one girl. She was the hottest girl there. I found her. She was Thai. And I said, 50 dinar, my place? She goes, yeah, but you have to buy all my friends drinks. And I was like, all right, and there's like 13 friends.
Yeah, you're like, this feels very America all of a sudden.
Yes.
This isn't...
Yeah, and
this isn't what
I felt used, so I just said, fuck it, and I went home and jerked off.
Yeah, so you didn't end up...
I didn't do it.
Would you have? If she had been like, 50 is 50 dinar $100?
Yeah, it's about double, yeah.
Okay, so if she'd been like, yeah, okay, that, like, just yes, we can go right now.
I probably would have done it, but I'll tell you, when you wake up that next day, I was glad I didn't.
Yeah.
I was half in the bag, I had half a boner, I wasn't thinking clear.
Did you have condoms? Or you wouldn't have wrapped it up?
I would have wrapped it up, but I would hope she had them.
Yeah, I'm assuming you got them, because otherwise...
Yeah, you're the whore.
Yeah. Kind of goes, it's like being a student and not having a number 2 pencil. It's like, come on.
Yes.
It's not my fault you're unprepared.
Right.
Oh, man. And then, how long were you over there for?
I was there for about 10 or 11 days, so it was... it was like Apocalypse Now, just watching that ceiling fan turn, and I was waking up at like 5 p.m. and going to bed at 6 a.m. I was all off.
Yeah. Does it make you, like, when you're over there, does it give you a different perspective on the war and the troops? When you see, like, coverage on the news, you're like, I've been there. I know what the actuality is? Or
a little bit, yeah. And then you go to the troops and you realize how shitty it is to be a troop and, like, what they're doing. And then you come...
because they can't stay there for 10 days.
Exactly.
They're there for a year.
Yeah, at least they have each other.
Right.
But still, I can't imagine that's amazing what they do and all that stuff. And just being back in America, you're like, wow, we have it so good.
How long does that last, though? When you're back in America, how long does I'm so happy to be back here last?
I give it a week.
Yeah, a full week.
But
that's actually more than I thought.
Seeing women's necks again, and like, cleavage and talking to girls and, high-fiving your gay friend and, rap music and all, great stuff here.
Yeah.
That doesn't fly. Like, sense of humor isn't even a thing out there, really.
So they don't even get the concept, really. So there aren't comedians that perform for, like, the
locals.
regular locals.
I don't think so. Because everything is so off limits. You can't talk about religion. You can't talk about sex. You can't talk about this. So, like, that's like what a comic does.
Yeah, I guess so. What are you going to, like, find old knock-knock jokes? Like, go through, like, joke books and just...
Yeah, I fell off a camel. Oh,
Oh, I've been there. Yeah. I know. My God. So how long have you been back for?
About 2.5 weeks. Yeah. And I'm happy to be back.
Oh, I got it. So then we caught you just as the 2-week sobriety was ending from the just drinking to get yourself away from the depression.
Exactly. Well, if I'm being completely honest...
You please do.
I used to kind of date this gal, and she dumped me, and then last night, out of the blue, she goes... Want to get a drink? And I was like, oh, my God, I'm back in, baby.
How long did you date her for?
It was like an off and on thing for a couple months.
Okay.
But it was, this girl is so out of my league. She's a Soul Cycle instructor.
An instructor? Because I was about to say, all these bitches are doing Soul Cycle now.
I know,
it's not.
She's the leader.
Okay. She's number one.
Yeah, and so it was just like, it was bananas in that bedroom. And so when she texted, I was like, woo, doggy, let's go. And I took a cab out there, toot sweet, and I broke the sobriety right out of the gate.
Yeah, that was that.
Women have that power. They can, if a woman was like, I want to smoke in your apartment, I'd be like, you got it. Let me unhook that detector.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if it's that woman. So, were you able to be intimate with her?
I ruined it because I got too drunk. I blew it. I was so excited.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you got you get past that one drink. Like, here's the line.
Yeah.
I'll get another one. No.
Exactly. And then I'm trying to get her to get one, and she's already like, this is too much. I'm going to stop. But I'm like, well, I'll have another. And then she left, and then I had to have another alone,
Right.
You know how it goes.
Because you realized that you had just reminded her of why you guys weren't hanging out.
Yes.
As opposed to, because you got two avenues to take there. It's,
right.
Am I going to be, oh, you know what? Those were the good times. I miss him.
Yeah.
Or am I going to be, yeah, I was right.
Yes, that's what hurts.
Yeah.
I was right.
And you got there. You were there. You were in the other's lane for a second.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
I was getting there.
Because she was giving you a shot.
Right.
She was like, the forks both roads are open.
Exactly.
And you're like, you made the right decision.
Yes, I know.
Which is terrible news for you.
I'm an idiot. I gave her an out.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, dudes out there, slow down on the booze, because I think I could have had it if I wasn't shit-faced.
But do you know how to, 866-969-1969 if you want to chime in, by the way. So, but could you have just not drank at all?
I could, but you want to have one or two just to like grease the wheels.
It's weird too. Although here's what I'm thinking. So like I don't drink. Mm-hmm. So if I was drinking, then that would be weird, right? One drink would be strange.
Yeah, that's different.
But if you hadn't drank at all, maybe she'd be like, "Oh, that Mark's making like positive changes in his life."
Well, she's kind of a rough and tumble skank.
Okay.
So I think she'd be like, "What's this pussy doing not drinking?"
Right. And then you're like, "Well, I'm trying to fucking not blow it like last time."
Yeah,
because
exactly.
you're supposed to be a rough and tumble skank, and you still wouldn't give me the time of day after my fourth beverage.
Right. Yeah, but she's like upstate New York, just kind of a hard ass.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry it didn't work out.
I'll show you a picture after we're off air.
I'd love to see. But I'm going to tell you something, Mark Norman, and this is advice I want you to take with you, and I don't know if you will ever hear something like this.
Oh, boy.
There are other fish in the sea.
It's true, but
so
this fish fit well.
Most of the fish are much less attractive than the woman you're describing.
Yeah, blonde Jew.
Yeah.
I mean, she had it all.
So you preferred her to the fat Irish woman that you slept with in the Middle East?
Yeah. Boy, Tubby O'Leary was nothing nice.
Well, I hope she listens to the radio.
Yeah,
that's all I can say. I hope she's got satellite.
I didn't even think about that.
Well, no, it's all good. It's all good. You're here. You can follow Mark Norman on Twitter at Mark Norm.
Oh, yeah.
Why didn't you get Mark Normand?
Somebody had it. Some real estate douche.
Ugh.
And I even tweeted at him, and I was like, come on, I'm a comedian. I need this. And he was like, see you in hell, douche.
Not going to happen, asshole.
Yeah.
I might get into it next week because I don't know if I'll have time today. But there was a whole thing going on where there's some Canadian guy whose name is Sam Roberts, and they call him a rock star. But he's a Canadian rock star. Like he's not popular in the States.
That's Nickelback.
Right. And Nickelback at least got on like U.S. top 40 radio.
Sure.
This guy hasn't.
No.
And like there was this whole thing, and I saw it on Twitter, and somebody alerted it to me. Some Canadian radio station did an interview with a British guy whose name was Sam Roberts, who got confused for the Canadian guy named Sam Roberts, and they all thought it was so funny. And I'm like, hey, assholes, this is the guy.
Yeah.
Right here. Like, I don't know, like there's one in the States
right.
who's kind of doing something here.
Yeah.
You know?
You're on goddamn serious.
That's what I'm saying. These guys don't give me enough respect anyway.
No.
So we were talking right before we went on the air, but so I guess since you were out last night, you didn't have time to get into this whole dress thing.
Every establishment I went to, I heard people talking about it.
Isn't it ridiculous?
It's crazy. You know, it's all the me. I see this. Well, I see this. So people love that shit.
Right.
Anything where it makes it about them.
I looked at that picture. I saw a blue and a black dress. I didn't turn back after that. I saw it once. I looked at it again. I was like, yep, it's still a blue and a black fucking dress. That's it. That's it.
I mean, yeah, I saw white and gold, and I was the same way. I was like, that's what I saw, and I'll see you all in hell.
I don't understand how you can see white. I mean...
boy, this is how it starts.
That's a different picture than the one I saw.
That's white and gold.
All right, I'm not going to get into it. Look, everybody saw the dress, okay?
Yeah.
It's now, and I also feel like I was sitting there last night, I'm like, oh, I'm going to talk about this tomorrow. And then I started doing the hours. I was like, tomorrow's show is in about 18 hours. This will be old news by then.
Yeah.
This isn't a thing. Last night, it was all over the place.
Oh, yeah. Everything on my feed was dress.
You replaced the llamas that were running around.
You know what would be cool, though, is if they figured out this picture technology and we could put it on people. So you'd be like, is that a black guy? No, I think he's Samoan.
I don't know.
I think he's Asian. That would be fun.
I think it's something they should do.
That could end racism.
It could.
Yeah.
Like, let's look more closely at this picture. If they could make pictures of ethnic people look like magic eyes.
Yeah.
Like if you just stared at it and you saw a different ethnicity.
Right.
Your mind gets blown.
Yeah. Somebody would be like, look at this jigaboo. And you're like, actually, that's a gook. You know?
Right.
That's probably going to get some phone calls.
I think it, and then you could start getting to a place where you're like, and we're crackers.
Yes.
And it's okay.
Yeah. Somebody could be like, you're a cracker. I'm like, actually, I'm Hispanic.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You didn't say.
I cleaned it up.
There you go. You're learning. I'm going to call this soul cycle instructor and tell her that.
She instructed my soul. That's for sure.
Come a long way. Well, listen, we got a lot to talk about today. I'm going to take another break real quick because, Natasha Leggero is coming in. You're hanging out, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Hang out. Natasha Leggero is on her way in. She's at Caroline's all weekend. Where are you this weekend?
I am tonight and tomorrow. I'm at McGuire's Comedy Club. It's on Long Island.
Okay.
So all you Rough and tumble skanks, come on out.
Right.
8 o'clock tonight.
We need a replacement rough and tumble skank.
Yes, and there's some Jews out there.
Jews are good.
Love
and
the
it's
Jews.
Long Island. There's lots of Jews in Long
That's
Island.
what I'm saying, yeah, get on out there.
So if you're in Long Island, go see Mark Norman. Tonight, over at McGuire's, it's a great club, too. I don't know if you heard about this, but we lost Leonard Nimoy.
I did. Bummer.
I respect Leonard Nimoy for one thing. Commitment. Because anywhere that guy went, he was not ashamed of the fact that he's still Spock.
That's a good point.
He acted like all his stupid tweets were as if he were a Vulcan. Like he just talked in Star Trek language.
Right.
But
he had some great quotes. I mean, he's like the opposite of Screech. Screech is like, I don't want to be Screech. Well, that's how we know you. But Spock's like, I'll do it.
And it's like, look at you. You're Screech. It's not going to work any other way, buddy.
Yes.
Like, that's it.
That's it.
You're not one of these, like, guys who blossomed out of that.
Right. That's why you're selling out, small high school cafeterias.
Right. He didn't even get invited to do the reunion on Jimmy Fallon.
Did he?
No, he did not.
Oh, good.
He did not get invited. Oh, you're happy to see that.
Yeah, Screech?
Yeah.
No, he sucks.
Yeah, he does. Leonard Nimoy does not suck, and I thought the only appropriate way to say goodbye to Leonard Nimoy would be to play his classic hit. Have you heard him perform a song dedicated to Bilbo Baggins?
No.
This was when Lord of the Rings was just a book, too.
Oh, boy.
So, I mean, it may be the nerdiest song ever.
Yeah.
But it's a YouTube classic. It's one of my favorite things on the internet. Natasha Leggero and Mark Norman will both be here after we say goodbye to Leonard Nimoy with this playing of Bilbo Baggins. Welcome back to Sam Roberts Show here on Opie Radio. 866-969-1969 is the phone number to call in. 866-969-1969. We got a studio full of people. Mark Norman's here.
Yo.
Very, very funny comic. You can follow him at Mark Norm. Natasha Leggero has stopped by. How are you, Natasha?
I'm doing great.
Fabulous. At Natasha Leggero. And who's this that you brought with you?
I brought my friend Benji Aflalo. He is opening for me this week at Caroline's. He's starting writing on the Justin Bieber roast on Monday.
Really?
Yes, very excited.
Have either of you two written on roast before?
I mean, I was on the James Franco roast, so I had to write for that, and that was so horrifying to me. And this one seems even more horrifying.
How come?
Well, because first of all, Justin Bieber's 21,
right?
And he doesn't seem to have any friends on the dais.
Yeah, I mean, who are his friends? Like
that's what I mean.
That one rapper that he hangs out with that I've never heard of?
Ludacris?
No. Is Ludacris his friend?
I don't know.
I don't know.
He's got he hangs out with Usher and Lil Twist or something like that.
Lil Twist. And apparently he has a guy who follows him around with just a pizza box and he gives Justin pizza.
Is that right?
That sounds
That's
great.
what I heard. I heard Bill Hader telling that story that Justin just says slice. and then
he gets
give him a piece of pizza.
Well, he's friends with Kevin Hart, right? And he's hosting it.
He's friends with Kevin Hart?
I think he's supposed to be well, yeah, because Kevin Hart's friends with Justin Bieber and Jay-Z and
totally.
Yeah. So, but when you're just writing on the roast.
Yeah. Also, to answer your question, I did write on the James Franco roast. Also,
is it okay? So So I would imagine it's very difficult to watch people because these roast jokes go everywhere now because it's like Comedy Central's big event of the year. Is it difficult to watch people get over on your jokes? And it's just you who kind of knows that it's your joke.
Oh, to have someone tell my joke?
Yeah.
Do I want credit for it?
Yeah.
No. I mean, no. I'm happy. That's not what I get hired to do. I don't get hired to wave my hands in there and say that's my joke. I get hired to write jokes for people. So
yeah, I guess I just would be watching somebody have their face on TV. I'd be like, oh, that'd be nice if I was the one telling that joke because it was my joke.
Well, then you shouldn't write for other comedians.
I probably won't.
I mean, I'm ambitious. I want to tell jokes on TV, but
it's satisfying when someone lands a joke of yours, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Because even my friends, even Moshe, he's writing on the roast now, and he's also performing all the time. I know he loves when a joke hits.
Yeah.
Even if he's. I'm sure it's also great when it hits when you say it, but it must be satisfying.
Do you write jokes for other people ever?
I have. But also you have to understand, too, sometimes you could write a joke for someone else and it bombs. Because that sucks. You know what I mean?
But I mean, it's great for you because you're like, oh, I don't know, you must have read it wrong.
Right.
Can't deliver my jokes.
It's the delivery, it fucked up my joke. It was great.
I love to collaborate, too. I mean, a lot of times things aren't always you can really come up with things together with people because you have something and you have the premise and then it's what about this or then what about that instead and it can be I found with the roast especially it can be a fun collaborative process because sometimes the first thing you think of isn't even though it's funny, it's not good enough for the roast because that means everyone's thinking of it. You know, so you have to get kind of like, that's why the collaboration is good because you're like, wait, what's another angle? How could we?
Well, that's going to be difficult about a Justin Bieber roast, I would think.
Because there's no angles?
Yeah, because every joke's been made. Like, yeah, he pissed in a bucket and he's obnoxious and you know what I mean? Like, are you terrified of the...
Did he piss in a bucket?
Yeah, he pissed in a bucket.
I mean, I did Chelsea lately for 4 years, and I feel like, every week it was just something else. Like a Jesus tattoo, another Jesus tattoo.
Right.
He did something on Ellen. He's been on Ellen like 20 times or something.
Really?
He has 5 Christian tattoos.
And he kind of does the black accent sometimes when he talks. And there was that thing where his bodyguard was picking him up like a little kid after. I mean, there's so much stuff.
I think you're right. It often feels like you're just digging up stuff that people have done jokes about before. But I think there's something about having the guy sitting right in front of you, and you sort of have to embrace like saying something so mean and
to
awful.
his face.
And because if you're just gonna reiterate the jokes that were made a year ago about him peeing in a bucket or whatever, like it's not going to sting. But
it actually seems like it's going to be more of a scolding.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Like he's in trouble.
Like a spanking.
Like society's like spanking him or something.
Exactly.
Everybody's going to reprimand him.
I think he's going to get pretty hurt. I don't think he realizes what's coming.
Well, you remember how bad, like, I think it was the Trump roast, man. I don't remember which one.
Chevy Chase?
The one that the Situation performed on.
Oh, that was brutal.
The Situation went up and just completely bombed, and you could see in his eyes, he's like, I've never experienced this.
Exactly.
I don't know what this is.
Yeah, he's going to have that way
they
worse.
They didn't add any laughter?
I mean, they couldn't. They did edit around it, but, like, it was really bad.
Yeah.
Like, really bad.
I mean, he shouldn't have been there.
No. No.
I mean, what does the Situation have to do with Donald Trump?
I don't know.
I mean, I guess they're both reality stars or something.
He was just one of those it moment guys. They're like, oh, good, we got the Situation coming.
We got the Situation!
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, it's also a punchline just sitting there that you can just use all the time.
Oh, yeah.
An idiot.
Actually,
Yeah,
it's
that's
fun
true.
for everybody else because you all get to say...
And you're right about the guy, about, like, having the guy sitting there. Because I love James Franco, but James Franco is gay jokes have been made for years.
Yeah.
But to make James Franco is gay jokes to James Franco, it's like, I will watch that. Like, you know?
Would you watch the Bieber roast? Like, what about it appeals to you?
Because I think that he's going to have one of those. I don't think he's going to take it in good spirits.
So you're going to watch in hopes that he starts crying.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't think he'll take it well.
It almost reminds me in other countries when they still have like public humiliation. Like in Ireland they have that where like, or where was it? Someone got tarred and feathered, or they have like a child molester has to wear a sign. Do you know about this?
I love that.
No.
It's a sandwich board that says that they did something to kids, or it's this weird. I mean, it's very un-American.
It's like pet shaming.
Yeah,
like when people take pictures of their pets and they say, I peed on the carpet.
Well, the roasts have become, it used to just be, hey, we're going to roast Dean Martin. We're going to roast Don Rickles.
Right.
But now
Don
it's
Rickles,
like,
my friend. Or Dean Martin, my friend.
Right.
Exactly.
And it's
now
comedians and their comedian friends and everybody kind of.
But now let's see who we can take down from the highest mountain of celebrity.
Yeah, because
like Schadenfreude when
And I would imagine when you're preparing for this roast, like, it's not like it used to be, because with Dean Martin and these guys, you're like, you know what? In my heart, I respect this person. I respect his work, and like, you know, and so.
I have to say,
like,
though,
none of the comedians are like, I look up to Justin Bieber.
Right.
We just want to take him down.
I have to say, though, those were more innocent times.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, well, comedy evolves, and this roast is a cool institution, but it's not the worst thing in the world that it's evolving into something else, because it's truly something else.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
So it's maybe we should just embrace that thing. Because, I mean, Donald Trump, James Franco, Justin Bieber, they do all have that same thing in common, which is, like, they do need to be brought down a peg.
How did James Franco take it?
Great.
He did.
He doesn't give a shit.
Also,
he seemed like a cool guy.
Yeah.
Also, all these people have a platform to make people want to hate them.
Right.
Or to see them take it down. Like, Dean Martin could have peed in a bucket every day and we wouldn't know, you know?
Right.
And like now they have these like tell-all books coming out.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, someone wrote, and like, I remember someone just wrote one. It was all about the Sammy Davis Jr. stuff and things they used to do in Vegas, and they didn't.
If there had been TMZ, can you imagine the debauchery that the Rat Pack
Oh my God!
was doing? Like, can you imagine what they were doing to people?
Just Sinatra hitting a woman with a whiskey snifter.
Sammy Davis is just sitting there laughing at it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Even worse, man. They did awful things with
worse than what
hookers.
Bill
and
Cosby, probably.
Yeah. Jeez. Well.
Yeah.
Still going.
I wonder if Bill Cosby.
Is it still going?
Oh,
yeah.
More women?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I moved on to Bikram, the rapist.
Who's Bikram?
The yoga guy. The Bikram guy?
We do hot yoga on Saturdays sometimes, but the studio we go to, it's this like famous type of yoga. You've never heard of Bikram yoga?
It's hot yoga, right?
Bikram, sorry. I don't know.
You're probably saying it right.
Bikram.
Bikram. Anyway, he's got 6 rape allegations.
6 rapes.
Wow. Your instructor does?
No, the guy who started Bikram.
Oh, I thought the one that you go to. I'm like, you should go to a different one. When you live in like LA?
It's a chain. It's a chain.
Oh, yeah, they're all over the world.
It's funny. Rapists,
so many.
They're like bands now. Bill Cosby, that's so mainstream. I know about the Bikram guy. I'm indie.
Yeah, I'm not even
boutique rapist.
Yeah, following Bill Cosby anymore.
But I was reading this interesting article on my way here, and hot yoga founder. But I was reading, and apparently yoga was brought to America in the 1890s by some Hindu spiritual dude, and it quickly left because he started sexually assaulting all the society women in New York in the 1890s.
Wow.
So I think that but it just sucks when these like religious figures take advantage, and these celebrities. It seems like it's like common.
I feel like when you are hungry for as much power as these people who are like in charge of movements are, we'd like to think that it's just about this cause that they have and they want. But anybody who's hungry enough for power that they want all these followers and they want to start this kind of world global thing, on some level that's what they want. They want power from people, and so they're going to take advantage of women.
I just wish they did it on the side.
As opposed to...
No, like get a hooker, whatever your sexual thing is. Just head the professional route. Don't rape the
followers.
Right, yeah, don't rape your followers.
Just get some hookers and do whatever you got to do.
Don't hate gurus.
Yeah.
Don't rape the followers.
Don't rape where you work. I think that's
that's it. And that's an old saying, I think.
That's a good hashtag.
Yeah.
No, but don't. I don't know. I mean, you mean like get a dominatrix?
I like
get a professional.
Because if you like to rape, there's no one who's
professional.
like, you can rape me.
Whatever it is, there's ways. You can
I'm on
hire a
Craigslist,
girl.
I get raped. It's just a fantasy.
You could hire a girl.
Hire
to
a girl,
pretend.
put Lululemons on her, and do whatever you got to do. Turn the heat up.
Right.
Just like don't. That's why when they like shaved, there was like I think it was like an ESPN guy who just got caught with a hooker or something like that. It's like he wasn't raping anybody. Just leave him alone.
Right.
He's trying to do it the right way.
He's doing it the right way.
Yeah,
I guess.
you're right.
He's a good guy.
It's not like he's going to like
He's a good guy.
female softball games or something and raping the athletes. He's doing it out of his work.
Yes.
Out of his work.
Yes. And he's going to professional.
Yeah, just don't
Professional
rape
people.
anybody and just get a
What if
pro.
they would have
I don't
roasted
know.
Bill Cosby?
Oh,
Man. That has to be Comedy Central's like
wet dream.
Yeah. Like that's their mecca of if we can get Bill Cosby anytime before he dies.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be the biggest.
The problem with that roast is the first guy goes up, does 20 minutes on rape, and you go, well, that's my whole act.
Judd Apatow would just go up and tell him what a piece of shit he was. Like, no jokes.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. The roasts are slowly turning into a public shaming.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's the stocks.
We'll see what happens with the Bieber roast. But
yeah.
I mean, when I started Googling Bieber, I guess I was looking at old articles because I kept seeing he was 19, and I was like, wait, he's too young. But I guess they waited until he turned 21. So he just turned 21.
Right. And he's trying to reinvent himself now. Like he went on Ellen, and then he apologized on Facebook, which I guess that's the spot where you apologize.
Right.
And he signed up for this roast kind of all in one shot. So I think he's trying to be like this more humble person, but he's not that guy.
I know.
And I think that's really going to get exposed at the roast, I would think.
It's so funny. Like the Olsen twins were like, oh, when they're 21, I'm going to fuck them. And then when Bieber's 21, it's like, all right, I'm going to hurt his feelings.
That's what it is. But you're more terrified of the Justin Bieber roast, Natasha?
Oh, well, I mean, James Franco was almost 40.
Right.
It's like, that's someone who's, he's doing his thing. He's pretty clear. Like, this kid's like, doing world tours for 10 years. You know, he's coming back from from Poland to like do this roast for a minute. It's like, his life is so exotic. Like, it's like, who has a life like that? Probably, 2 people in the world? 3 people in the world?
And he's and all the people around him are like yes people. Who just tell him how great he is, make sure his ego.
Pizza.
There's got to be pizza.
And his parents are like, his mother was very religious. Like I read somewhere that his mom originally didn't want his manager to manage him, that guy Scooter, because he was Jewish.
Wow.
Like it's like these are very small-minded. Like now, whatever. I'm sure they're exposed to different things because they're so he's so famous. But.
Right.
What a goy. Of course you went the Jew manager.
Jeez, Canadians.
Well, Natasha, I'm glad that you're here. And by the way, Natasha and Benji will both be at Caroline's all weekend, carolines.com, if you want tickets.
And we're here Sunday, too.
And yeah, all weekend.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So go out and definitely see them because they're.
Benji won't be there on Sunday though, but Todd Barry's going to be replacing him.
Really?
Yes.
That's a big Sunday show. Well,
Thank you.
If all you can make is Sunday, that's a great show. But Friday and Saturday will also be spectacular. Now, I'm glad that you're here because
yes,
I've had two of your colleagues in this studio, and they've both told their sides of a story that you're involved with. One of them is Bobby Lee, and the other is Ari Shaffir. Both of these men, I assume you know?
Yes.
Yeah, yes. Now, so here's the story.
Oh, you know this story now?
Yeah, Bobby told me the whole story, and then I literally got Ari in just because I'm like, dude, I need you to come in.
You need to fact check with Bobby, though.
Tell your side of the story.
Exactly.
And so Ari came in, and Bobby volunteered it, and then Ari came in and told his side of the story because I asked him to. But basically, if you guys remember, Bobby came on and told a story about getting the shit kicked out of him by Ari Shaffir 3 weeks in a row, I believe it was, at the Comedy Store, correct? That was the club?
I never saw Ari get his ass kicked, but I do know
No, Bobby Lee got his ass kicked.
I never saw Bobby get his ass kicked.
Ari did confess to kicking his ass.
I know that Bobby,
he kicked his ass.
Bobby would not look me in the eye for 3 years.
Years?
Yeah.
Okay, because...
So I believe that happened.
Yeah. Because what happened was Natasha was dating Ari, and then she started dating somebody from Mad TV.
But I properly broke up with Ari.
Right. But...
I didn't cheat on him.
Okay, Ari said that you found emails while you guys were dating.
Okay, I went to an opera with someone, but I didn't cheat on him.
Okay, so just the opera then.
Opera's kind of like...
That's worse than cheating. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's intellectual cheat.
So you're going on secret opera dates. One secret opera date.
They shared a monocle. It was really interesting.
One, and then I was like, okay, I think I want to explore this world.
And then you broke up with Ari after that.
Yes.
Ari was under the impression, and which he now knows is not the case.
Ari and I are friends now.
Okay.
As are Bobby and I.
And this was years ago. But I'm bringing this up because it's been an ongoing theme on Sam Roberts' show.
Are Ari and Bobby friends now?
Yes.
Okay,
But they weren't here together. They tell me they're friends, but I haven't seen them in the same room. So, Ari, actually, no, because Ari did explain the story about making up with Bobby and getting past everything. So everything's cool now.
Right, because we did it on Ari's show.
Right, and he said that all three of you were on the show.
That was sweet. Yes,
Yeah.
I remember that. It was very fun.
So, so Ari thought that Bobby had set you guys up while you were still dating Ari.
Bobby did not set us up.
Which is the case now, yes.
So does Ari know that?
I believe he knows that now.
I mean, I have free will.
Yes. It was your choice. You're saying I'll take whatever heat is here. I'll
Bobby
take it.
setting me up with someone would not be a plus.
You would probably not take his advice.
I mean,
so when did you find out that Bobby had been getting his ass kicked by Ari?
well, I just remember. I mean,
how did you not know it was happening as it was happening?
I knew something was happening because Ari threw a glass of water in my face at the Comedy Store and told me to get.
You can say whatever you want to say.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so I was just at the Comedy Store one day. This is right after it happened, so I think I understand that.
So you probably only
Ari
gotten to
was
beat
a
up Bobby once.
I mean, I don't know.
Probably. You probably didn't have time though.
Right.
To beat him up 3
exactly.
times already. Which has been, both parties have confirmed the 3 beatings. So.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, 3.
Yeah, there was
3
one.
beatings?
Yeah, I mean, Bobby at one point was getting choked so hard that Ari's thumbnails were made him bleed in his neck.
Jeez.
According to Bobby. So.
Why are they fighting? I'm
I mean,
confused.
well,
Because
Ari should have been beating up the dude who
Ari thought that Bobby set Natasha up with the guy that she left Ari for, and also we found out, by the way, at the very end of the story that Bobby also owed Ari like $5,000 or $10,000. So that probably had a lot to do with it too.
But Bobby's so eccentric. I mean, he's the type of person who will pay for a car with a bag of cash and then get the car towed and never go get the car again. I mean, that's
just Bobby.
That's Bobby.
Yeah.
He needs to be rich.
Right.
He's so eccentric.
Right.
I mean, it's charming.
So you were in the Comedy Store.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but this is right after it happened. And
Right.
I understand that, maybe I shouldn't have been hanging around. I mean, it's where I started. So for me, I wasn't like, I'm not going to go to the Comedy Store. It's not like Ari introduced me to the Comedy Store.
Mm-hmm.
But, he was going up there all the time. And I was just sitting outside on the patio. And all of a sudden, like, I just felt like this
Moisture?
water splash in my face and on my head. And he had dumped a whole drink on me.
Damn.
And then my friend got back. Morgan Murphy was with me, and he waited for her to go to the bathroom. And then when she got back from the bathroom, she was like, "Why does your ponytail have no volume?" She saw that he did that, and then she went and said something
To Ari?
No, well, to the manager, and none of the men who were around said anything. It was very weird. But the Comedy Store is a much different place now.
Well, if it makes you feel any better,
They would not do that now.
Bobby said that he complained 3 times that he kept getting beaten up in the club, and the manager was still like, "Look, what do you want me to do?"
I know it used to be a little bit more lawless,
Right.
But the Comedy Store now is really cool. They have such great people. Don't you think, Benji?
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun when it was lawless. I saw a lot of crazy stuff.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Beatings?
I've seen dicks on stage, boobs on stage, blowjobs. I've just seen
blowjobs on stage.
Yeah,
somebody got blown on stage.
Was it Ari?
It was Ari. Yeah.
And was Bobby blowing him?
Wait, Ari got got a blowjob on stage?
That's almost as bad as the opera.
Yeah. So I mean, it's still fun.
Just a random woman?
Do you guys want to hear the story?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely.
There was a marginal porn star there one night, and me and Sam Tripoli were talking to her on the patio, and we
convinced her.
Well, something happened where she was trying to talk up some guy or something. She was like, "This guy is the biggest dick here," and then we're like, "No way!" And then Sam's like, "Dick competition, take it to the stage." So Don Barris is on stage, and then Sam brings this girl on stage, and they start talking to this girl. Maybe she shows her boobs a little, and then I think she got naked. Am I going to get the Comedy Store closed down?
No, I
This
don't
was
think
a long
so.
time ago.
This was maybe under different management. It was
totally under different management.
Yeah.
But I remember the manager at the time was an idiot, and I was like, "There's people getting blown on stage. Maybe you should shut the front door." And he's like, "Yeah, good idea." And so, yeah, there were blowjobs on stage.
So she
blew them both?
She blew Ari and Dan Madonia.
Wow.
I don't know who Dan is, but damn.
To completion or just a little bit?
They both had stage fright. There was no completion, but it happened.
So they couldn't get hard all the way.
It was a distance. I have strabismus. I can't see well.
Boy, oh boy, how do you follow
Wait, hold
that?
on though. What was the? I mean, what if I had brought my mom to the? I mean, surely there were people who were appalled.
It was really late. This was when the club wasn't being run as well. There weren't many people in the audience, so it was mostly just local store losers.
Wow.
I gotta say though, I'm so glad that Ari and I made up, and he.
Would you have been jealous if you saw him get blown on stage?
I would have enjoyed seeing that for sure, just for the memory. But
Now, who won the dick off?
At that point, there was no
We're all
winner.
winners.
It was just chaos. But yeah, there used to be fun stuff like
That's
that.
incredible.
no, there's still fun.
There's still fun stuff,
It's
but it's a
definitely
little
my
more-
favorite
Not
club.
blowjobs.
It's still my favorite club, and it's my home club.
How did you react after you got a drink thrown on you?
I didn't come back to the Comedy Store for 3 years.
Wow.
Because I was like, what if he throws acid on my face? I mean, I didn't know what was going to happen, but like I said, we're cool now.
Yeah. Somebody's playing with a selfie stick right outside the studio, and it couldn't be more distracting or revolting. So, and then Bobby Lee didn't talk to you either?
No, Bobby didn't he did not make eye contact with me. And so then, but we're friends now.
But
it's all good.
Did he ever, was there ever, here's now where I'm going to start making eye contact with you? I'm sorry I wasn't making eye contact with you.
I don't remember.
Or did he just look at you one day and you're like, oh.
I think maybe that. And I think it was just because Bobby's so fun and contagious. His laugh is so contagious and you just want to be around him. So I think it was probably just a natural, we probably just laughed at something and then he was cool.
And after you got a drink thrown on you, did you leave immediately?
Yeah, I had to go fix my hair. And
the volume is in taking out your ponytail. You can't.
I mean, you don't really want to stick around after that.
Yeah, that's what I was like. But I was surprised you didn't start a fight or something. Is that just not in you?
Ari's a pretty big dude, and I did kind of leave him.
Yeah, so you were like, maybe I can take this one.
I mean, yeah, I was fine with that.
It's very mature of you.
I'm pretty mature.
Yeah?
There was a lot of other places I could perform at.
Yeah.
Because that was when the Comedy Store was like that. So it's not like I was having a great old time there. You know?
You're like, I may have to blow a dude on stage just to get up there. I mean, based on what's been going on. And then how long was it before? So you and Bobby Lee were not friends for 3 years because he wasn't making eye contact with you, but then he started and everything was cool.
Yeah.
How long was it before Ari was cool with it?
Probably about the same.
Okay.
So maybe Ari and I made up, and then probably Bobby just followed suit or something. But Bobby and I were friends. I mean, Bobby was my first person who ever kind of taught me about stand-up, you know?
Did you ask him, why aren't you making eye contact with me? Or did you just figure it was all part of this complicated shit that's going on?
I just ignored him.
Yeah.
You know, he's got his own things he's got to do. But Bobby, he's so generous to young comics, and he's always there to like some of the best advice I ever got when I was in my first few months of comedy came from Bobby Lee.
Yeah.
He was always there to like, and he's not trying to fuck you, you know, like, because a lot of dudes are just trying to fuck you. And like, Bobby just like really cares about comedy, loves it. I feel like nobody loves it more than Bobby. Actually.
He was the first person to help me. Also, I don't know where I'd be.
He got me a fucking agent.
Wow.
He would tell me things like he told me. What did he tell me once? He's like, try to be funny before you start talking. And it's like no one. I mean, that's just like no one ever told me something like that.
Yeah.
Just like these ways of like opening up your mind. To comedy, and so he was a friend. So I'm glad that we made up.
He helps a lot of people.
He helped Ari a lot.
He helps a lot of people.
Wow.
Ari used to have this,
and he doesn't talk about it.
Ari used to have this poster in his bedroom that said, "You're nothing until you've bombed 100 times." Bobby Lee. And Ari had a calendar, and he was marking them off.
Wow.
I mean, this was before they got into a fight, obviously.
Sure.
But you know, Bobby is instrumental
awesome.
in everybody's.
And he's so fucking good on the radio.
Bobby?
Oh, my God.
He's so fucking good on stage.
Yeah. Can I play you something? You guys
please.
are both going to like this. Anybody who's a Bobby Lee fan, some of you have heard this before. Bobby came in, and I told him he was in a very low self-esteem place.
No, that's his shtick.
Yeah, well. So I told him we were listening to Drake together, and I told him...
He has good taste in music.
I said, listen to Drake. Drake never sounds like he's low self-esteem. He always sounds like he's the fucking man. And because of that, I consider Drake to be the fucking man. So I told Bobby he needed to empower himself. And so Bobby tried it, and we turned it into a rap song for him. Do you want to hear it?
Yes, please.
Okay, here's Bobby Lee.
Is just start saying things that are like make me feel positive.
Watch out now.
Yeah. I am short, but I'm powerful. I look like I have diabetes. I look like I'm a Pikachu, but I'm not. I'm a human being with a spirit. My dick is small, and when it grows, it's still small. But still, I have a good personality. Yeah. For an Asian, I don't look as good as anyone else, like John Cho and Daniel Day Kim. They're all better looking than me.
Oh, it's my favorite rap song.
See, now, I would have thought Bobby would have had better rhythm.
No, yeah, he didn't. He didn't. Not in that moment. But I mean, we added in the music and everything after.
It was very funny.
So, well, listen. We got to take a break. We got a lot going on. We got to get Mark Norman out of here. You got to go out to Long Island.
Yeah.
What are you doing out there?
Governors McGuire's. It's a comedy club.
Oh, interesting.
McGuire's Comedy Club. If you're out on Long Island, I would recommend Mark Norman this evening. If you're not on Long Island or can't get to Long Island, or you're just in the city, you want to see a comedy show, go to Caroline's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And then go to Governor's.
Yeah.
That's true.
How do they fit them both in?
You could totally do both.
Take the LIRR.
Right. Long
My
Island
show's
Railroad.
Go to see my show at 7:30, and then take the Long Island Railroad.
For my show at 8.
There it is.
Both clubs not affiliated with serial rapists.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why you can't say that about every club. That's a wonderful thing.
That's the new Better Business Bureau stamp on a business.
Right. No
they
rape.
search for serial rapists. See Natasha and Benji will be with her Friday, tonight, Saturday, and Sunday at Caroline's.
Yes.
And Natasha's not on the East Coast too often, so this is a rare treat.
Yes.
For everybody.
For you.
Yeah, for me.
It's so cold here right now. I've been in the bathtub all morning.
Yeah, with bubble bath and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for stopping by, Natasha.
Thank you so
and
much.
Benji. And Mark. And we'll be right back. When we come back, Katie Linendahl is stopping by, and I think Nicole's going to be here too. Also on today's show, Will Forte is going to be here.
Ooh.
Wow. That's right. That's right, everybody. So still a lot to come on Sam Roberts Show. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Sam Roberts Show here on a Friday. There's a lot going on today. It's a party Friday. Not just because I'm wearing my cashmere, and that's why I wear a casual Friday, but that's just kind of where my life is at. But there's so much going on today. As I said, Will Forte is going to be on the show in a little bit. He's got a new show that's actually very, very funny. And I'm telling you, people tweet me all the time. Last week they said, Sam, I didn't know about Action Bronson until he was on your show. You're right. He's the man. Sam, I didn't know about the Lucas brothers until your show. You're right. They're the men. Sam, I didn't know about Eric Andre until your show. You're right. He's the man. I'm putting my stamp and I'm co-signing, as it were. Last Man on Earth. I watched the first 2 episodes last night, and it was really it's funny. It premieres on Sunday, but Will Forte will be here in a little bit. Katie Linendahl scheduled to stop by in a couple minutes, but people were wondering where Nicole was, and I just started wandering around. You got a lot going on.
I'm a little bit busy, and I apologize.
That's okay.
But you know what? You know what you're called? You're called an influencer.
That's right.
In the industry, that's the lingo.
That's right.
You're an influencer.
And I felt like, and it's like, because you got all this stuff, you got Hits 1 stuff going on.
Yeah.
You got VH1 stuff going on. But then you saw in the little thing that I put out on Twitter that there was another girl coming up here, and you were like, let me make time to squeeze a segment in.
Yeah, so, I mean, I did. So, I mean, I'm not threatened or anything. I mean, Katie's like a very sweet girl. But,
right. I mean, very sweet.
I mean, I'm
She's
sweeter.
Amazing.
So, I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm just joking. I'm a little threatened. I like to be your number one. I've always had a thing about that.
That was quick.
I just, want to be honest about it.
That's good.
Just put it all out there.
I'm glad that you are, and I think people appreciate that. But maybe they would have felt differently if you would watch the slap last night.
I mean, when you invited me to live tweet with you, like I wasn't even gonna respond because I wasn't gonna have anything to do with that,
right?
Because the show's bad.
Did you get tweets from other people saying like, "Where are you?"
Yeah, it's annoying when you do that when you tag my name because then all these other people, then I'm like attached to that. Even though I chose not to live tweet with you,
right.
I still have no choice but to be a part of it.
Right. Well, I get that too, and you're sitting there going like, "Oh, something I tweeted earlier must be getting the pot stirring."
No, Sam.
They're all wanting me to live tweet the slap. I'm telling you.
How'd you feel about last night's
episode? I complained. Somebody actually, because I've been saying a lot about the listeners to this channel. There's a sect of listeners to the channel, not so much for this show, but who do a lot of complaining about what's on.
Right.
And like I've said in the past, I don't understand their perspective because I don't understand why you would continue to watch something if you don't like it.
Right.
But then somebody tweeted as I was live tweeting, I was hate tweeting as it were.
Right.
The slap. Hey Sam, why would you watch something if you hated it?
It's true.
I was like, that's a great point, dude.
But if you listen to the Sam Roberts show, you would know that Sam likes to live in uncomfortable.
Yeah, and it's different. It's not like it's sitting there like affecting my life going, oh, why would they do this to me? I hope terrible things happen to everybody. It's just like, I'd like to point out that this show makes me uncomfortable.
And all of a sudden, you're Kermit the Frog.
That's not. Was that what Angry Kermit sounds like?
Kermit / Fozzie. Yeah.
Either way, it's a Muppet.
Right.
That's how I get. Maybe that's why people don't take me seriously when I'm angry.
Perhaps.
Yeah, I got to work on that. But I was watching the slap last night.
Okay.
Go on. What are you going to say?
I just want to know what happened. Was there a slap? Still no slap? There's the one slap and that's it?
No. I assumed, and somebody pointed that out to me too. The slap is this show that I insist on continuously talking about on NBC. And, I mean, I don't care. It's not a shot at NBC. People like, I don't know. I don't read enough ratings reports. I don't do any research.
Okay.
I assume people are watching or they would take it off. But I still don't know if I don't think it'll make the 8-episode run because there's nothing to be interested in on this show. So the whole deal is it's an entire 8-episode miniseries where every episode is an hour long around a single premise of a guy slaps another guy's kid.
Right. When you decide what you're going to watch on television, like, do you like pick up your TV guide? Does that still exist anymore, TV Guide?
Yeah, I subscribe weekly, so I get my digest-sized TV Guide magazine, and I scan through. Yeah.
And do you scan through, and then it's just like, let me see what looks like it's going to not make it. What show is going to get the axe, and that's what I choose.
That's it. No, I want different. I like different. I like weird. I like when people try things. I think this Last Man on Earth show that Will Forte is going to be promoting, that's different, but it's good. And so, but I really like different and then it doesn't work. And I sit there going, why would people in power put a ton of money behind a project like this? Why would people think that this will work? I don't understand it. And I like to sit there and I watch and I try to figure out why somebody would think this would work.
So it's more of a game to you.
It's a complete, life is a game.
Right.
Life is a work, Nicole.
Yeah. But
the whole thing.
Isn't there like a percent, like what's the percentage of shows that don't make it? I mean, like after pilot season, I feel like
90.
Right. So, I mean, I
But
think
some of them are so like some of them are just like average shows that they just don't click.
Right.
Okay, that didn't get picked up. But some of these shows, and that's why I'm watching The Slab, you're sitting there going, from conception. Like, when somebody came in, here's my pitch, it's worked internationally. A kid gets slapped on the first episode, and then we do 7 more episodes. And I go, okay, and a kid gets slapped every episode. And they go, no, it's just the one slap. I go, all right, I'm going to turn that down. What's the next project? But they don't, right from there, if I were a TV executive, I'd say, well, I don't think that works. They're like, well, we got Peter Sarsgaard attached.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I like Peter Sarsgaard, but that's just makes it even more weird.
That's why you're not a TV executive.
Well, I guess so.
You don't clearly know what you're doing.
Although, depends on what kind of mood I'm in, because you do know that I am prone to just sabotage things.
Yes.
So I would do things to make people like me go, what?
Right.
Why would this happen? And I'm just sitting there in my office.
I hope you don't laugh like that.
Yeah, I giggle. I giggle all the time.
Don't do that. It's not attractive.
You don't think so?
Not manly.
All right.
Did you pull Jess into this yet?
No, she wants nothing to do with any of the TV I
mean,
watch.
I'm not shocked.
She trusts me that I have terrible judgment. But last night, it was completely dedicated to the character. Uma Thurman is on this show.
I know. I forgot that you said that.
And it was completely dedicated to her character. She doesn't have any kids, and she's never slapped anybody.
Right.
I was like, there wasn't even enough there for me to really come up with some tweets for it. I tried.
Do you think when a show is not doing well, do you think like someone like Uma Thurman is like, like I'm stuck doing this. This is a crappy show that I'm doing.
I would imagine, because that's what I said last night on this show. And I wanted to save you from clips today.
It's so sweet of you.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm so happy about that. I don't have to hear the frigging narration.
And Sam, look at Nicole.
No, I don't have to listen to it, so I don't want you to do it either.
You don't have to listen to it. We're only going to talk about it for a few minutes today. It's not going to be a long one.
Thank you. You're so sweet.
I know. I care about you. But the narrator was there.
Okay.
100% intact. But they've shortened him. I think somebody's listening to Sam Roberts' show.
Probably.
At NBC, because they keep shortening the narrator down. If you listened last week, and if you didn't hear last week's show, go on demand, because it was a fabulous show. But they keep shrinking down the narrator's part. Like last week, he was only on at the heads and tails of the show.
Right.
Front and the end for you non-industry people.
Right.
I'm sure they couldn't pick up on that.
Right.
And this time it was like beginning and end of the episode and super short, like nothing. So, but it was still there.
When you look on Twitter, like when you're live tweeting this horrendous show.
This social media event.
Like when you like search the slap, is it getting the same kind of, are the responses like very similar to yours? Are people like hate tweeting it a lot? Or are there people that really, really love it?
I don't know. I didn't search it at all.
You didn't?
Nope.
Just all about Sam and what he thinks.
Yeah.
Right.
That kind of just saying, well, is there an @NotSam mention in that tweet? If not, I don't care what it says.
It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter to me.
Doesn't even exist, actually.
Right. Like, I don't know what you were doing on Twitter until, and I was lucky because I was talking about it before, but the dress thing didn't really pop up on my radar until right after the slap. So, I mean, my social media was on fleek last night.
Well,
on fleek.
Also, what about, wasn't like the llamas, wasn't that a whole thing too?
That was in the afternoon.
Oh, so I really missed out on that.
Oh, yeah.
So,
you got to stay on this. The llama thing happened, and then for me it was the slap and then the dress thing.
Right.
Some people skip the slap part.
Yeah, clearly.
But yeah, so there was talks about an abortion. There were talks about a tumor.
In the slap?
Yeah.
Really tackling the hard-hitting issues
But
here.
no slap. It's like this show that is just so desperately trying to get some water cooler talk going.
Yeah.
Like, what would you do if you had to get an abortion? What would you do? How would you end a relationship?
Right.
What would you... It's created... You know how terrible radio shows will come up with, like, a very basic premise?
Yeah.
Ask it in the form of a question.
Right.
And then go to calls like, boom, boom, boom. And I don't mean, like... No show specifically.
Right.
But I feel like this is created for that.
Right.
Like, it's transparent. It's not like you come up with something from your life that naturally fits and you create a topic out of it.
Right.
It's you just pull something out. This is going to make people talk. You put no energy into how you craft this thing. Because, like, you guys on the mashup, when you do caller topics, you'll actually, most of the time, it's something out of somebody's life.
Something happened to one of us.
Right. So it's an organic thing.
Correct.
On this show, there's no organosity. Yeah, that's the word. There's no organosity.
I don't think that's a word.
I think it is.
We're
It
gonna
did
go with it.
very, very well on my SATs.
Okay.
There's no organosity whatsoever. Like, it's strictly set up. They just shoehorn whatever issue they can shoehorn in. Well, we're doing this whole episode about Uma Thurman. She didn't slap anybody. So what do we got for water cooler chat on this episode?
Abortion? Go.
Yeah. Have we done abortion yet?
Yeah.
No. Let's slap the fetus once it gets pulled out of her.
Do you see you're all fired up.
Mm-hmm.
This has got you all hot and bothered. Is it worth it? Why are you doing this to yourself? Yeah, it's worth it. Why do you want to do this to yourself?
Because some people, they only feel when they cut themselves. Some people, they only feel when they're doing drugs.
Right.
Some people only feel when they get themselves all fired up.
Right.
You know, I got to pull that emotion out of myself somehow.
Right. And the slap does it.
And the slap does it to me every single time.
I freaking hate this show and I want it to go away.
Yeah,
I can't wait for the 8th episode so it can be canceled and we don't have to talk about it anymore.
It was Uma Thurman's episode last night, and she didn't slap anybody. You didn't even get to, I don't even know if they had a shot of her feet.
Does she look hot?
I mean, she looks like Uma Thurman. Yeah, she's hot.
Do you know that I just found out that, what's his name, is it Tarantino?
That's
that he's into her feet. Like, I just found out that
Oh
was
my
a thing.
God.
Like, why am I, like, so behind on that?
Did you not see Kill Bill?
Yeah, but, like, yeah, I did.
You didn't wonder to yourself why there's this, ridiculously long close-up on her feet?
I don't know. I like things go over my head sometimes.
You know who Tarantino would love?
Me?
Nicole Ryan.
You.
Yeah.
My feet are not ugly. They're not that bad.
You got some Umas on you.
So we should start that.
Yeah.
Call feet now. They're Umas. They're no longer feet. They're Umas.
Not all feet.
Right.
Like Uma Thurman feet. You should be hashtagging Umas.
But does she have nice feet?
Hashtag Nicole's Umas.
Don't start this. Cause
I think
now,
we could do it.
See now what you did? Now when I
Right.
go to my Twitter after this, it's going to be all about my feet, and I don't want to talk about that.
Her Twitter is at Mashup Nicole, and you can hashtag say, "Hey Nicole, let's see a photo of those hashtag Nicole's Umas."
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's so sweet of you.
Right, and you know what? You do a segment, and it's all about sneakers.
Right.
And you call it Nicole's Umas and Pumas.
No, it's not going to
And
happen.
you do a whole thing
It's never going to happen.
about, look, I got my new Pumas on today.
I mean, you're so creative, but it's never going to happen.
They're covering up my Umas.
Wait, can I just know? I'm with it. Uma Thurman's feet bad, or they're just like, are they like attractive for him to be obsessed with them?
I'm not a foot guy. They're not, they're not bad, but they're kind of big. She's got long toes.
Well, she's tall. When you're usually like when you're like that is like proportionate. That size
Right.
is usually proportionate to how tall you are.
And she doesn't have like little nice,
They're like boats.
I like Asian women who bind their feet.
Keep them tiny.
Yeah, I like that. I think more women should do that.
I don't even think that would have worked for me.
No, oh my God, you need a lot of binding wrap.
Such a dick.
You need like binding wrap and athletic tape and maybe some crazy glue or something. I don't exactly know the science behind it, but yeah, you'd need a lot of stuff.
I'm just gonna accept my feet and what they are and
Good.
what God gave me, and that's what we're gonna do.
Good. But I do hope the trend of live tweeting the slap continues on. Will you live tweet it with me?
No,
next
I'm
week?
never gonna do it. And if you and you know what? The friendship is it's gonna be strained if you continue to ask and then tag me in those, hey, want a live tweet with us, Nicole?
What if I do hashtag the slap, hashtag SR show, hashtag Nicole Zumas?
Then maybe I'll consider
Okay,
it.
because that's getting your brand out there too.
Right.
Yeah, that's very, very important. I did get a lot of feedback from last week's show on our 50 Shades of Grey segment.
Okay.
Have you gone any further?
I have not.
So you're still tied to nothing.
Listen, I've done some crazy shit in my life, but
Is that over?
No, it's not that it's over. It's just that I think like all of my romps were crazy at a time in my life. They're not.
I could tell they were crazy because you call them romps.
I'm sorry. You know what I mean? All my sexual escapades. Is that better?
Yeah, that's much better.
Okay. I don't know. I don't think it was really that big of a deal. I'm not sure what people like didn't understand. I think it was really just you and Troy perhaps that didn't understand. I think everyone got it.
Well, Troy did say that he was listening to the show as he was driving.
Right.
And saying like, yeah, that's really fucking stupid. Because Nicole went to see 50 Shades of Grey.
Right.
You were not the lady who masturbated in the theater, were you?
No.
Did you hear that a lady got in trouble?
I mean, I'm sure she's not the only lady. And why would you get in trouble?
For masturbating in a movie theater? Ask Pee Wee Herman.
I know, right?
Yeah, you're not supposed to masturbate
I just
in
feel like it's not okay for guys, but it's okay for girls for some reason.
Really?
I mean, as long as like there's not like a third party involved, like a dildo being the third party. Like as long as it's like just your hand, I think for a girl it's okay. The guy, like it's like you're actually, I don't know, like you're like whipping something out, and there's like a lot of.
Well, there's semen.
Right.
Is the problem.
Right.
There's semen that comes at
That's
the end of
the main
that. So
issue.
you're saying because a woman can masturbate in public without actually showing her vagina,
Right. You could, right.
that it's okay?
Kind of. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm not like advocating for people to go do that, but
Have
I
you
don't.
ever done that?
No.
In a movie theater?
Not in a movie theater.
Not even for 50 Shades?
Not even for 50 Shades. I had my husband right there. He would have been like thinking that was super weird. Or maybe he would have loved it.
I'd be into it.
I was more enthralled because, I read the books and I was excited about the story. So I was like a kid in the candy store looking up at the screen like, oh my God, it's my favorite story coming to life.
Oof.
I know. I'm sorry.
That's horrible.
At least I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, I know. And I appreciate that. You know what I would do? If I was sitting next to you and you were masturbating, I would be excited about it. And then I would tell the authorities.
Right.
And then have you arrested and then watch women in prison movies and jerk off thinking.
Like even if we were friends, you would do that?
Yeah, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, I think so.
Because you just don't care.
Well, no, I just think it would be an important thing. And it's important that all my co-hosts on the show get arrested at some point.
Right.
It's not just a who kid thing.
Sort of a prerequisite.
Yeah.
And then, so they'd be locking me up and put me in handcuffs and you'd be pointing and laughing?
No, I'd be getting aroused, excited.
Oh, aroused.
Yeah, because women in prison. Have you ever seen the women in prison movies?
No.
They're very arousing.
I for some reason don't really feel that way, but I guess to each their own.
Yeah, well, you're jerking off to 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, well, I never jerked off to 50 Shades of Grey.
Why?
I really didn't.
But you said that the woman, so this woman got in trouble.
Yeah.
She went to see 50 Shades of Grey. She started masturbating in the theater.
I mean, did she have her pants down? What was it? Very...
I mean, I don't know all the details. I don't have the police report on me.
Well, you should probably Google it.
But she was definitely flicking the bean. Is that what you call it?
I mean, I don't, but if you want to go with that, that's cool.
And so she's flicking her bean.
Okay.
And I guess some of the some of the patrons of the theater are upset by it.
Well, I mean, the movie made a lot of money, which means it was probably a very packed theater, which makes it even more bizarre.
Right. So you knock elbows with somebody.
Correct.
And it's like, oh, I thought she was just having a sip of her beverage.
No, she's flicking the bean.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So somebody ratted her out. I thought snitches get stitches. Apparently I was wrong.
Right.
Because that's not the story. The story is that she got in trouble and I guess she got arrested or whatever. But you said that you could see how that would happen?
Yeah. It's I can't explain it. I know I'm probably the minority. Actually, I'm not the minority. The movie made $500 million.
Huge money. It was very successful financially. Artistically, it's a different conversation. But financially and masturbatorily.
Masturbatorily. A lot of big new words.
Yeah.
Today on the Sam Robert Show.
It was very, very successful. But you thought it was flicking the bean worthy?
No, it's not, again, I didn't read the book or see the movie and go home and want to masturbate. That's not how it works.
Right.
It's just this delicious fantasy.
I see.
If I'm gonna flick the bean,
right.
I need for real porn. I can't.
That's what I would think.
Right.
That's why I like having you here.
Right. Yeah. I need the real deal.
And do you need something with a story?
No, do not need a story. I'm a total dude when it comes to porn. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, no, sir. Actually haven't been known to fast forward, because a lot of them, even if they're really gross and raunchy, they'll always start with a story.
Right.
I don't need that story. Fuck your story.
Right. Especially if it's at night, because you fall asleep while the story's on and you've ruined it.
Right.
You've ruined the whole experience.
We're right here, Sam.
But what happened last week was Nicole mentioned that she tied up her wrist to nothing.
I didn't tie up my wrist.
Oh, your husband tied your wrist up to nothing, and.
Because why do I need to actually feel like I'm for real not able to move? Why can't we tie it up?
That's the excitement of it.
I know, but
that's the whole reason to do it.
Also, my bed doesn't lend itself to that. I don't have that type of bed. I just have a backboard. There's no place to really tie. So maybe it was really a logistical issue.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah. Architecturally speaking, we can't do this.
I don't know. It was just it wasn't I wasn't let's go home and reenact 50 Shades of Grey. I mean, it's not like that. I'm not lame like that. And I hope I didn't offend anybody by saying that, because maybe you did go home and reenact 50 Shades of Grey.
Well, if you did, you're lame. That's a very lame thing to do. Okay. That's like somebody who really needs to just admit to themselves what they're looking for and go out and do it.
Right.
You shouldn't need that movie. Oh, I'm feeling naughty all of a sudden.
Right.
Oh, I'm thinking that maybe we should tie our wrists up to what? Oh, nothing. I don't want to feel any actual danger. Just like the movie. No, Christian would have done something much worse to you.
And I don't know, if for real, if I want to be for real tied up where I couldn't move. God forbid I needed to get away. What if there was a fire?
I've never done it before. It's not my thing.
I feel, don't be offended. I feel like you're kind of plain Jane. You don't really want to do anything that crazy.
I'm starting, as I get older, I don't know if it's plain Jane or laziness.
Okay, that's fine.
That could be part of it too. All right, but if we do nothing exciting,
right,
I can just put it in and be done in 15.
Right.
Go back to what I was doing.
Minutes or seconds?
Well, we'll go seconds.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify.
It depends.
Okay.
It depends. But, 15 minutes was definitely a bit of an exaggeration.
Wait, so you're telling me you're not going to see this movie?
No.
And Jess has no desire to see it?
No, she started reading the book and was like, this is a very poorly written book. I'm not going to finish it.
So disappointed in her. I love her.
Yeah,
What she's doing to me. I thought she'd be totally on my team with this.
No. We went to see Kingsman the weekend that 50 Shades came
I don't
out.
even know what Kingsman is.
It's a great movie with Colin Firth.
Oh, yes, I do know.
Yeah.
I do know.
But there's all these jokes in this movie, Kingsman. People don't realize how good this movie is because it looks kind of like, oh, it's just Colin Firth in some typical superhero movie.
Right.
There's like jokes about ass sex.
Which is the best.
There's fucks throughout.
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great movie. It's very, very fun.
I call ass sex VIP sex.
You do?
Yeah.
You are lame.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not. I'm
When
not.
who do you, in what reference?
No,
do
like I
you-
always say that it was like VIP, like the velvet rope. Like no one really gets behind that velvet rope. It's not. That's not like I'm not like a fan.
No. Oh, I see. So
Get it? VIP access.
there hasn't been any VIPs.
I mean, there has been. I just then I put the rope up and was like, and that's a wrap.
Oh, I see.
I mean, I don't even know what type of VIP you'd need to be.
So we used to allow admission, but we don't anymore.
No, like not that we used to. Like I allowed admission like a couple times, and then I was like, and that's a wrap. This sucks.
Right. I also call it VIP. I've never allowed admission.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so
that
that's-
makes me happy.
That's where I'm at.
Not even like a finger.
No.
Yeah, just checking.
Maybe
toe.
No, like some pushes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Some pushes in the area,
Okay.
but never in.
Sam, even that I'm like really proud of you.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want you. Yeah,
I feel like that's kind of like
just pushing.
I'm hoping it's not like a pushing. I hope it's maybe like maybe a circular motion, perhaps.
I don't know. I wasn't the one doing it.
Okay.
I don't exactly. I just know how it felt on my end.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to interrupt you, Nicole, but
Yeah.
Katie Linendahl's here.
This is a true story.
Unfortunately, this is not really on brand for her.
Yeah, we missed a. We kind of fell in. Sometimes Nicole and I fall into the gutter when we're together.
Oh, I like to call them like they're black holes.
Yeah, just of debauchery and I mean,
Wrongness.
I'll tell you. I'll just fill you in.
Please do.
Nicole went to see 50 Shades of Grey last week,
Oh.
and her idea of like acting out or whatever was she had her husband tie her up to nothing.
No,
and I
I
told her
haven't.
it was just useless.
We tied I don't need to be tied to the bed to feel like I like for real can't move. Like I'm not gonna if you tie up my arms, I'm not gonna put them down. So it's just kind of like, why does it need to be like the real thing? We're just having a little fun.
That's not fun.
Ripping apart my sex life.
It's just because you used to be fun. I feel like.
Hashtag I used to be cool.
Yeah, and now it's like that's not like the old Nicole would have been like, yeah, and then he, kicked the shit out of me, and it was awesome.
And I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if old Nicole would have said that.
I bet you would have.
No.
You don't think so?
Again, this is completely off brand for Katie Linendahl, as you can judge by her response.
Off-brand.
Yeah.
Right.
But she was
Off-brand.
looking at you like that doesn't make any sense to me.
No, but
for the record.
You only went halfway with it.
I know,
do-
you're right.
Yeah.
I didn't
Because
commit.
if you're gonna
You
do
didn't
it.
commit.
I
It's
didn't
exactly what I was looking for.
Did you see the movie?
I did not.
Okay, well, you should.
I kind of have other things in my queue.
You do? You kind of busy?
Yeah, I'm not gonna waste my time with that nonsense either. That's the correct response. You should see Kingsman. That's a better movie.
I have like the Iron Sheik documentary ahead of 50 Shades of Grey. I'm not going to lie.
See, that's why Katie Linendahl gets the open invite whenever
We
she
are
wants to be here.
Two different birds, my love. Two different birds.
You know where Katie was?
Where?
She was at the UFO conference.
This is a true story.
How was it?
Unbelievable.
Was it?
24th annual International UFO Congress.
Oh my
It's
God.
like the mecca of all UFO gatherings.
Right.
And may I add, to give it some creds here too, Guinness World Record holding largest UFO convention.
Okay.
I had no idea what to expect. It's in the foothills, Fountain Hills, Arizona. So it's kind of like right smack in the middle of the desert.
You just found out this thing was happening and you're like, I should go to that thing?
I was supposed to go last year and then I got booked up at work and I was real sad about it. So I'm like, for sure, I'm blacking out like at least 4 days for this next year. I sent my entire crew with me.
You
Like,
did?
this got legit.
Yeah.
Like I was going to do a full on video article as much as I could get out of it.
Uh-huh.
So I get there and I was planning to work like 4 or 5 hour days and like do some other work at night, get some other stuff done. I was working like 20-hour days at the conference, man.
Good for you.
It was
That's commitment
such
right
an
there.
intense scene.
It was. And you were like, I got to take advantage of this moment.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wasn't there for 10 minutes and the people just, they're really gun shy about media, but they liked me.
Right.
People like me because I respect what they do.
You're
Here's my deal.
a normal person. That's why wrestling fans like you too. They're like, there's none of you around here. There's a cute girl here. What's going on? She's not treating us like we're subhumans.
It was awesome.
Listen, this is not because you're talking about UFOs that I'm leaving. I just actually I'm like a crazy person now. I have to go, but I love you so much.
I saw Nicole backing up and putting on a scarf as I started to talk about aliens.
She was like, I want nothing to do with
She's
this.
like,
No, there's nothing but love.
Crop circles, backing up, backing up, backing up.
Love you, mean it.
Sure you don't feel threatened?
I don't. Don't go there.
Obviously not. Obviously. All right, Nicole, I'll see you later. Thank you for stopping by.
Of course.
For as limited as it
Big
was.
fan.
Absolutely. I love you guys.
Big
Yes,
fan.
well, we love you very, very much. Nicole Ryan, everybody, you can follow her at Mashup Nicole. So,
Yes.
you were saying that they embraced you fully.
And I embraced them. I came into it with very objective, open mind.
Yes.
And I was there for quite a few days. So what you can expect, I had no idea what to expect. I knew there was like speaker panels, but the topics are so vast. Everything from cattle mutilation to alien implants to alien hunters to crop circle experts to everything. So I was having sit down interviews with these people. I was expecting 5-10 minute interviews, 2 hours per.
So what do you do? Okay, so I saw your report. So if you go to Katie Linendahl on Twitter, you can see Katie's NBC News report. It's legit.
Yes, it's legit.
It's NBC News. That to me is like that's the only news that I actually watch thinking this is news. That's why Brian Williams got in so much trouble because it's supposed to be real news. So
Brian Williams was not abducted by a UFO.
he was not.
No.
Did you check for him?
He was not abducted by a UFO.
He's disappeared.
I'm just making that statement.
She covers this for NBC News, full on report.
Full on report.
But it's like 5 minutes long. So what do you do with the 2 hours of footage that you have? Can you put it out like just as a full 2 hour interview?
And I gotta cut it like 2 hours per 7 people over a span of like 3-4 days was really intense. So I think I'm going to just put the raws on YouTube.
I would
because I think people will be really fascinated by it. Can I tell you the guy that I thought was like the most amazing and like such a character? Alien hunter Daryl Sims.
Was he the guy who looked kind of normal?
He had a cowboy hat on. He was a character man.
Did he have the mustache?
He had the mustache.
Okay, I know it. So he's not the guy who looked kind of normal. I know exactly who you're talking about. Let me play a clip from him. Actually, this is your favorite guy. The guy with the cowboy hat?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Listen.
My event started in 1952 when I was 4 years old. They ended violently at age 17 in 1965. When a person gets taken, you become one of two things. You become an abductee or a contactee. The question is, can we prove it? And we've been able to do that in some of these cases, and we only have to be able to prove one case, really, realistically. And that makes a phenomenon true.
So when this guy sits there, straight-faced, and goes, my events started occurring.
Correct.
When he's 17. And this guy is a man of a certain age at this point.
Right.
Do you just be like, you know what?
Dive in. I'm a journalist, man. I got 4,000 follow-up questions to that. And what he has is 4,000 plus pieces of evidence. So now
Right,
I'm like having a field day, right? I approach this whole story from, does science and technology give us better proof that there's alien abductions, alien implants, cattle mutilations? Does it help the cause? And do we see more proof in the skies with being able to take photography and video, obviously, right?
That's why you're so smart. I would that's like you found a whole angle on it. You can cover it. You can be professional. You can do this as opposed to being like, yeah, there's a bunch of goofy people. I'm going to interview them because that's what I would do.
That's exactly. That's
no
why
work
I
put
did not
into
invite
it.
you to this event.
Right.
It's probably one of the only events I would not invite you to.
Right. Because you're like, Sam Roberts won't behave himself.
There's a great restaurant around the corner. Why don't we meet you there in a few hours? I.e. the whole day.
Like 20 of them. 20 hours later. Was it fun? No, it's fine. Yeah, you don't need to go tomorrow. Anyway, let's get something to eat.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So sitting down with alien hunter Daryl Sims, who is very popular in this space. And he is showing me legitimate alien implants with DNA proof. And
how can you have DNA proof of aliens? Where are you drawing
it's coming back on. Let me back up for a second. So he also in 1992 or 1993 discovered a new alien fingerprint called fluorescence. So now, again, how
do you know it's an alien fingerprint if there's no alien to test it against?
Oh, no. These are after people have been abducted and
excuse me.
He's using black light, X-ray, and infrared to actually detect what this substance that is left on them for 24 hours. It's called fluorescence.
Jesus.
So we should have him on the show.
I would have him on.
Would you really?
100%.
I feel like this requires a follow-up.
Yeah, I'd have him on. That's what I'm saying. See, that's why I could never do
I think we should have him on.
Yeah.
And also crop circle expert.
I was about to say crop circle lady because that was my other favorite part
lady.
of the thing.
That's really funny that we all call her crop circle lady. when my editor was like going back and forth with me on notes, he's like, "So, what do you think Crop Circle Lady should be saying here in this clip?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, everybody's referring to her as Crop Circle Lady."
But that's why I like doing this, because I could sit down with those people for an hour.
Yes.
And just get them to keep talking.
Yes.
I don't even need to say anything. Just like, what?
Well, in P.S., so again, 2 hours I'm sitting down with Daryl, and very, very intelligent individual. He shared with me that he was in the CIA for 2 years, licensed private investigator, licensed police officer. The background is pretty insane.
So he got into the CIA after he was like...
No. This is well before. He had a pretty lengthy career. He's been studying alien research for 38 years. He's been abducted since he was 4 years old, and his events ended, like he said, violently at 17. And can I tell you 2 other things that he shared with me? I mean, I'll talk all day on this, but
Please do.
I got to wrap it up at some point. So he shared with me in all the cases he does. So he's one of the most go-to if somebody has an alien experience, is like horrified or embarrassed or what have you. They call him, and again, he's collected over 4,000 pieces of alleged evidence to date. He said that, I'm like, what are they going after? What kind of person it needs to be in fear that they're going after them?
Yeah.
45% of all abductees by aliens
have cowboy hats, which is why, as a fashion choice, it makes no sense. None.
No, they are actually Native American,
what?
Irish, or Celtic.
Racist aliens.
Maybe.
They want no black people on their ships, no blacks or Latinos.
And women, high percentage of women.
Real? Oh, I know what they're doing up there.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Racist sexual aliens.
And also, there's this very strange connection. So, of all the different people that I was sitting down with that have nothing to do with each other, mind you, this is a massive conference. Also, this connection of his family and his son was also getting abducted. Then his son ends up marrying somebody, not even knowing that she was abducted by aliens. So there's like this common thread of people in their lineage and their family line all having this abductee experience, which I thought was very bizarre.
Mm-hmm. It is bizarre. The whole thing is bizarre. So what was his violent end at 17 when the events stopped?
I didn't dive into that per se.
Well, then I'm glad you're going to get him on this show, because that's number one question.
You could ask him that, for sure. I know his son, he started becoming the alien hunter when his son started getting attacked at 5.
He's like, I'm not fucking around aliens anymore.
It's on, bitches.
Like he's Will Smith in Independence Day now.
Totally.
He's like, you could fuck with me, but not my family.
Yes.
So he's not an alien hunter in the sense that he's hunting for information. He's trying to behead aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said he's come very close 3 times, of which I dove into those stories too. He almost knifed one.
Knifed an alien.
Yeah, but then he ended up telepathically communicating with it, and I know this all sounds crazy, but
not at all.
This is why we need him on to give you the specific details, because he's kind of savant.
Right now, you're just being his advocate.
Alien hunter's advocate, and trust me, it's obviously fascinating to hear him speak in intense detail about this. So
because he believes it, like it's his reality.
Well, and I need to make clear, I am all for anybody that is passionate about anything.
I'm with you.
If you are into playing the tuba, if you're into aliens,
right.
I am anyone that has something that they love. I love you.
Right.
I am into you.
Right.
So allow me to be like your mouthpiece in this. Like.
So did you, when you're there though?
Yes.
You spent 4 days there?
4 days.
That's a long time.
P.S. Can I tell you, it ended really intense. So we took up some high technology. Ben Hansen, who is a host of Fact or Faked on Sci-Fi, met up with him. Totally
That's the one who looks kind of normal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool dude. We hung out for quite a while. We went up to the Superstition Mountains in Arizona. Like totally nuts. There was like coyotes everywhere and bats, snakes. And we took all this technology, this infrared technology that allows you to see, it was 3rd generation optics that allow you to see 50,000 times more clearer than the naked eye in the sky. So we were like hunting for UFOs on the final night. Just
Did you
to
find
culminate
any?
The experience. So here's the cool part about it.
Yeah.
You're not just going to look up and like the odds of you seeing a UFO.
There's one.
Yeah. Hey-yo.
Right. Got one.
Okay. We saw something and everybody freaked out because we hooked it up HDMI to a large screen TV.
Okay.
Big, LCD screen, whatever.
And I would imagine this is they got some chick from NBC News here. This is the moment that they need to see. Like, they would flip out if they saw something.
For me, too. Like, this would culminate the piece.
Yes. Oh, yeah. You get an ending.
Falling, like, dot, right? Like, whoa, that's definitely doing something. So we zoom in with the optics, and what I learned is bats are one of the highly most mistaken for UFOs by the way they catch a reflection.
Oh.
So it was bad. But I love that Ben was like, no, bad.
He
like
knew.
he could have like led me on and been
Right.
like, oh, UFO.
So it made you think this is the real deal because he's not trying to like trick me into
Yeah,
thinking
smart
something
guy,
is-
man.
Yeah.
Totally smart dude.
Yeah. So what did you talk to that dude for 2 hours about?
Ben or Alien Hunter?
The alien hunter.
Oh, everything.
Everything.
His experience. So here.
So what, does he remember getting abducted?
Absolutely.
He does.
Yeah, and he was teaching me how if you were ever to be in an experience, knock on wood, abducted by aliens, how to like screw with their minds so they like can't like abduct you.
Oh, so he's got the upper hand.
And he was teaching me about how they do these things called screensavers. Like they basically implant a screensaver of what they want you to remember, and they don't allow you to forget most of the experience. I got so much information.
You're good. Like if you get abducted, you're straight.
Oh,
What do they look like?
So, well,
Aliens.
wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
He allowed me for the first time ever in his career. We have a rapport.
You and the alien hunter.
Alien hunter Daryl Sims has allowed me to come on a research hunt with him.
Are you going to go?
I'm going to stab the alien.
Yes, you are. You're going to tear his throat out like MacGruber.
MacGruber!
Well, Forte will be here in a couple of minutes.
So pumped.
Do you know what aliens look like?
So, depending on, there's a number of different kinds that I've learned from the Congress. There are the grays, there are the lizards, there are ones that people believe are here on Earth. But yes, he said they've evolved. Like when he has experiences, they had very, very big, round, circular eyes, and now it's like people are like, well, wait, why don't they have the big ovally eyes? And he's like, dude. If you go to like a Ford plant, they make different kinds of vehicles and like souped up vehicles. Like there is different variations of the alien. One other interesting note that alien hunter Daryl Sims taught me.
Yes.
You can pull, if you're ever abducted.
Yes.
He said to pull the lens cap off.
Of what?
The eye. The eye is a lens cap, and you pull it off, and it's like a scanner. A red scanner.
Oh my God.
I'm just passing on information that I received, people.
So they are where person and machine mix. This is why I keep telling people not to do self-checkout. That's where it's going. Lens cap, eyeballs, and all this stuff. I like.
Only you could make a reference from an alien to self-checkout.
Katie, I'm a long-term thinker. I'm like, it's all chess in my brain. Okay, one move leads to this move, leads to that move, and leads to lens cap, eyeballs, and
I also
Daryl
think that
having to fight for us.
We should take Daryl up on the experience, but we should also take Crop Circle Lady Patty Greer up on going to a Crop Circle.
Let me play a clip from Patty Greer. I don't know, Crop Circle Lady. Patty Greer is her name?
That's correct.
Okay, here's Patty Greer, the Crop Circle Lady.
It's what a lot of the advanced scientists, especially contactees, everybody that's having contact with extraterrestrials is coming out of it with advanced technologies that we don't know down here. Because the circle makers are like, we're talking to you. We have information that humanity needs to receive.
So, do you believe her that they're...
I could have talked to her all day.
Because she's saying that this is communication right now. M. Night Shyamalan was onto something.
Yes, and I'll tell you one disagreement that people at the Congress had was over crop circles.
Huh. It's a hot topic, a hot button issue.
Hot topic.
Right.
But I was pretty amazed, may I say.
Yes.
The designs, if you start delving into how the intricacy and also what I thought was fascinating bringing into the science is the difference between, you can go on YouTube and see the college kids or whatever making a crop circle. The precision of X crop circle versus Y crop circle is the implosion of the actual seed, okay? If the legit ones, by the way, there's estimated about 200 to 250 crop circles made every single year around the world. And is it Wiltshire, England, is the hotspot of
And
crop
people
circles?
really don't know why they're getting made? It's not some guy with a tractor?
It's kind of phenomenal no, this stuff happens overnight.
What?
And she has this evidence that she was showing me on video of these like two fireballs that like had this binary code fused through the middle and basically laser etch from the bottom up this crop circle in a matter of seconds.
Why wouldn't the aliens know these humans are way too stupid to pick up on anything we're putting down? We got to just write something down and give them a piece of paper. Like, we are here watching you. Like, this is not working.
Well, that was her point, though, is these are all communication symbols.
Right.
And they come in like a variety of category.
Yeah.
So I found it very, very fascinating to speak with her. I think we should have her on.
I'd have them both on.
Yes, Sam.
Will they come to New York?
I
want it in studio.
You want them in studio? I can see what I can do.
Because that's the whole, like, and tell them they can have, I'm not going to sit there and I mean, I'll like goof on them, but they won't know I'm goofing on them. You know what I mean? So they'll feel comfortable.
You got to respect the peeps.
I will respect them.
Because these are.
I'll respect your people because I respect you.
Because we have like a rapport now.
Right.
You know
I'm not going to ruin that for you. I'm not going to ruin your UFO relationships. I know they're very, very important to you.
Yes.
So 4 days after doing this thing, is you're like, because I'll go on these things where I'll start reading about conspiracy theories.
Right.
And then I feel like I'll do it for a couple days and I just get lost in these conspiracy theory loops. And like I'm a different person. I just start reading about the Colorado airport and going on and on. I'm like, there is an Illuminati and there is population control happening. But
totally, man. Thank you for saying that because I couldn't sleep at night.
Right.
It was such like I needed to just cache my brain. Like I needed to empty the recycling, but like it was so much at once that was, well, first off, I really couldn't sleep at night. So I downloaded a kid's flashlight app. And it was Kiwi the green koala. And I could not sleep in the pitch black for like 4 days straight.
Right.
And I was like real messed up. And then I had to go.
So you just sit there with your kid's flashlight nightlight on your phone?
I was just like thinking about life.
What does it all mean?
I had all these books and DVDs and like flyers and like.
Oh yeah, all the promotional material that they give you.
Well, it was great. I mean, I'm going to be sifting through that today even further. But then they go on to say that there was one of the UFO of one of the massive mass abductions, which I learned a lot about, took place at a UFO conference. So then I was like double freaked out, right?
Right.
I'm like, we're staying half an hour away from the facility. So in short, then I had to go to Vegas and I love IBM. It's one of my biggest clients to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And I was hosting a 3-day event, 21,000 people at MGM Grand in Las Vegas. And I had to like switch gears, you know?
Right, and just be like happy-go-lucky Katie again. Here's bubbly Katie to talk about computers.
I was telling my assistant, I was like, this is really intense, man. This is really, really intense.
Because there's no way, because you're not outside of the world. You get scooped up inside of the world.
Yes.
And you're going, no, I think the aliens are mad that we're having this convention. Because it's not even like, you're not even in this world where we can coexist. Because you got Alien Hunter over there being like, no, my mission is to knife these aliens to death.
Well, and just to get more evidence.
And knife them. He said he wanted to knife them, and he almost
got
did.
one.
Yes.
Then he tried to do the right thing and communicate with it, and he probably should have just taken it out.
But
he didn't.
He didn't.
People want evidence.
How did he fuck up his brain again?
What do you mean?
Like he said he communicated telepathically?
So that was a lot that I've learned from abductees and contactees is the communication, the internal mental communication back and forth.
How do you do it, though?
It just happens.
You just think it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm cool, dude. But you don't say it, you think it. And they're like, oh, he's cool.
Right.
But do they speak English?
Well, there's a communication line.
It's just thought.
Yes, thought.
Like the thought of, don't worry, bro, I'm cool. Is like translated in the air and then telepathically.
This is what I've been told.
Through the lens cap.
Transmitted
to the alien computer brain.
This is what I've been told.
Right, I get it.
And before we close on it, I want to get one thing in. So the highlight of the whole Congress was this guy named Bob Lazar, who was a whistleblower.
By the way, if I were dealing with UFOs and my name was Bob Lazar, I would change my name to Bob Laser. Because
fact.
I feel like it would give me credit.
Important.
Hey, I'm Bob Laser here to talk about aliens. That's me, though.
So Bob Laser,
exactly,
was a whistleblower for Area 51. He worked in a facility called S4. This is if you're somewhat interested in the tiniest bit in this topic, it's worth Googling. He, for the first time, kind of broke his silence after 25 years. He's definitely somebody that's not looking for the celebrity, and he admitted on stage that it pretty much ruined his life, like whistleblowing, this whole experience. He was a physicist that was hired to work in the UFO hangars at Area 51 and reverse engineer what he allegedly said 9 UFOs that he was working on.
Huh.
He was sharing details and loosely drawing on stage right down to the propulsion systems.
Really?
Pretty intense, man.
So, like, if this guy's not legit, he's batshit crazy.
So I'm talking to some military guys.
That's a lot of details to make up.
A lot of detail. And I'm following every bullet. So I talked to these high-end military guys at the Congress, and they're like, oh, it's pretty good. It's pretty legit.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa, this is...
Whoa.
Yeah.
So are we doomed as a human race?
He said it was impossible to reverse engineer. It was like, I liked his analogy. He's like, we entered into an era of science fiction. And by the way, there was only like a handful of individuals that worked at this facility, and you were sworn to secrecy and this, that, and the other thing. I don't know why. I don't know how why he chose to, blow the lid off of it, and he went into detail on that if you want to watch the interview.
Of course.
But, so he was saying there was a number of different models, but it was like taking a iPhone and putting it in the wagon wheel era. That's how advanced this technology was. And it was like creating gravity and anti-gravity. It was just like beyond anything.
What?
There was elements in the materials of the alleged UFOs that he was to reverse engineer that didn't exist on the periodic table. So it was just completely impossible. And they did test runs, and he showed when he ended up whistleblowing, he ended up showing camera crews the test runs because he knew when they were running at the facility. It went way. But that's the thing. Like I would need hours and hours and hours and days and weeks of research on this, but there's so much detail.
There's so much stuff. So are there people at this show, like some people like Alien Hunter and this guy, you're like, yeah, they're pretty legit. You know, they got a pretty solid story. But then are there other people that show up that go like, yeah, I was abducted too, and everybody goes, no, you weren't.
So I was trying to shield my assistant because I knew it was going to be intense. And she's like, always happy, like always positive and good mood. I'm like, she's not prepared for this. Okay?
Right.
So as soon as we walk in, we're in like this vendor section. By the way, I spent like $450 at the gift shop. I'll totally bring you a t-shirt next time.
Please do.
I'm sure TSA had a field day with that, like going through my baggage. So this guy, we're not even there for 10 minutes.
Your thing with gifts is just
I
hilarious.
love gifts. I brought gifts today for you and Will Forte too. I'm real excited. And they're totally apropes.
All right, great.
Okay, so this guy comes up to us, and we're not even there for, as I noted, for a number of minutes. And he's like, have you ever had an experience? And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes.
I'm in.
Yeah. So I'm like all into this. I'm like grilling this dude. And he's telling me about his alien abduction. And he opens up his iPhone. He's like, I'll show you some photo proof. So it kind of looked like he used MS Paint.
Oh.
And kind of just like glued and or like a cheap app and kind of, he's like, here's this being sticking on me. And I'm like, I don't know, dude, I don't know if this is good enough for me. And then he's flipping through pictures and pictures.
It's like that Photoshop of me body slamming you the last time we did a Photoshop contest.
Congratulations, that man won a floating speaker from us. But then he goes to this photo on his phone. I was like, oh my gosh, there's an alien. He's like a gray alien. Like, where's this from? And he's like, well, I just took this one off the TV. And I was like, you don't end with that, sir.
He's just going for
no.
He's just going for the chicks. He's just showing up to be like, hey.
What's up?
What a disappointment. But then you get to talk to Crop Circle Lady and Alien Hunter and be like, you know what?
Absolutely.
There is still some legitimacy into this UFO thing.
Yes, and I think if you're the least bit fascinated, and again, UFOs or crop circles or cattle mutilation, worth going to just experience the event. I mean, Open Minds TV puts on this event. They're a magazine that does like a lot of like conspiracy and UFO stuff. Great magazine to just pick up just for even kicks if you want to. Awesome job on their part. Awesome
My
job.
God. Listen, I could talk about this all day, but Will Forte's coming up next. You're sticking around for Will Forte, I hope.
MacGruber!
Absolutely. Katie's sticking around. We're going to talk to Will Forte. Have you seen his new show or seen commercials for it or anything?
Yeah, I'm pumped.
I watched it last night. It's hilarious.
Very pumped.
Really good.
I also have some questions for him.
You do?
Yeah.
Good.
I'm your hype girl.
Yes, you are.
I'm Sam Roberts' hype girl in this interview.
Although, you also are like the hype girl for like the Alien Hunter, so I wonder how
we
discerning.
We have a special bond, Sam Roberts.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. No.
Okay, good. All right. Then we're on the same page. I wanted to, before we go to break, Will Forte was on the Late Late Show with Seth Meyers.
Last night.
Yeah.
I watched that.
And apparently, like, all these SNL guys, like, maybe not you, but I'd like to think that there's, like, this sort of competitive animosity between everybody. And but they all seem to be, like, just friends who are funny together.
I have that same question.
Yeah.
Like, what's it like in a pitch meeting?
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that with him. But the reason I say they're all friends is because on Seth Meyers' show last night, they played a clip from Seth Meyers' wedding video of Will Forte giving a speech to the bride and groom. And Will Forte was in character. And it was, the funniest thing to ever come out of a wedding, as far as I've seen.
It was very funny.
It was great. So I want to play that clip for you. This is Will Forte at Seth Meyers' wedding. And when we come back, Katie's sticking around, and Will Forte will be here on Sam Roberts Show. Welcome back to Sam Roberts Show. And I tell you something about Katie Linendahl, who's hanging out here alongside Will Forte. Welcome, Will Forte.
Thank you very much.
We were just talking about Katie's, all she wants to do is give. She's just one of those people that wants to give people things. She's already in here going, who wants a Red Bull? Anybody need a Red Bull? I have 100 of them. And Will's like,
I accepted.
I accept. Katie, we are all thankful that you're here. Well, Will Forte, we're also thankful that you're here.
I'm thankful to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, you've got a series, and this series that's premiering on Sunday.
Yes.
It's called Last Man on Earth.
Yes.
Fox, Sunday night, 9 p.m.
Yes.
It's a pretty major undertaking. I was watching it last night, and it's hilarious.
Thank you very much.
It's a really good show.
Thank you.
And it's very different, though.
It's very different.
And it's a risky show. Like, for you to be like, what's the pitch like when you go in to meet with Fox or whoever you're pitching this show to say, like, I've got an idea for a show. I'm one of 2 cast members, and it's pretty much me on camera all the time. And, like, is it nerve-wracking for you? Is it difficult to pitch?
It is. We thought about it for a long time. It gave me confidence that I was working with 2 of the smartest and funniest people around, Chris Miller and Phil Lord, who did the Lego Movie and 21 and 22 Jump Street. So they're,
that would make sense. That's why all the ads for this show have you as a Lego man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Perfect.
So we spent so much time working out this idea and working out the pitch, and we went in there and said, look, we know it's a crazy idea, but here's what it is. We assumed that it would be a more cable idea, but the networks really responded, and Fox responded the most, and they were great. They were very supportive.
Yeah, and
this weird show.
And it's obvious that they're supportive. They're putting you on after like Simpsons and Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I know,
so
that's
like
very
the spot.
exciting. Yeah.
So it's basically the show it's a comedy show.
Don't give any spoilers away.
I won't.
No spoilers.
I'm not going to give any of the gags away.
Okay.
Because they're very, very funny.
You can give gags away if you want, but no spoilers.
Well, I was just going to say, the premise of the show is basically you're the
It's
last
hard
man
to talk
on
about it without talking about the spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, you can't. But you're the last. It's like The Walking Dead, except it's a comedy and there's no zombies. It's just Will Forte.
God, The Walking Dead would not be a good show without all that stuff.
No. It's like we're going to take everything out and then add you, and that's the show.
God.
That's all you need.
Oh,
Maybe
I
that's why. I
love The Walking Dead.
That's why I thought the pitch would have been difficult, because that's how I pitched it in my head. That's why I don't pitch shows, because I'm obviously terrible at it.
Well, we had really taken the time to think out exactly what we wanted to do throughout the course of the season. We did 13 of them, and we knew exactly where we wanted to take it. So that was great. So that's we basically took them through the whole season, and we loved the idea. We were so excited once we hit on exactly what we wanted to do, and it felt it just kind of started pouring out of us. So we got very excited.
There's a couple of things that make it feel real to me. Number one, I watched the first 2 episodes. At no point, and I hope this isn't a spoiler, but at no point do you appear to be wearing pants.
Spoiler?
Is it?
No.
I didn't think
That's
so.
all right. I know you're going to stumble into a spoiler, though. You're loose cannon.
I am. I'm unpredictable. That's kind of the vibe of this whole thing. But you're not wearing pants, which is exactly what somebody would do, a guy would do, if there was nobody else around.
Yeah.
Why would you ever wear pants?
Yeah, unless it was like a temperature-related pants necessity.
Pants are completely functional.
Yeah.
And that's it. If they don't serve a function, why would you have them?
Yeah. Unless you need pockets. If pockets are, that's a big deal. At some point I have to carry a gun, and I just stick it in the waistband of my undies.
Stretched out boxer briefs.
Yeah.
It's perfect. And the other thing is there's a lot of, you're not a clean person.
Right.
In the show.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, would maybe, because I've been living in my apartment by myself for 4 days.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've thrown anything out. I just wait because I know at the very end, like before my wife gets home, I'm going to have to clean up.
Yeah.
So I'm not touching a thing.
Yeah. Just
until
do it all at once.
Yeah, do it all at once.
One fell swoop, and
it'll be fine.
Yeah. I mean, I guess everyone would handle it in a different way. I'm sure there would be some people who, like I handle it in the way that my character probably would handle it. I would just let everything get messy, and probably if it got too messy, I'd just move into another house somewhere
Right.
and then wait till that was too messy and keep doing that. But I think there are some people probably who would keep everything super clean, to have this sense of order, to
stop themselves from
feel
going crazy,
connected to the old world. So there were a lot of things like that we thought out, and how would people be in that situation? It's very interesting to think about.
But I would imagine, like, when we're talking about, pitching ideas and stuff, I don't think, like, MacGruber couldn't have been the easiest idea to pitch in the beginning.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you're...
Well,
it's like a parody of a show that has been off the air for
I know
decades.
Well, every time that the Jorma Taccone, who was the person who had the original idea for MacGruber, one of the Lonely Island guys, and he directed the movie and all the shorts, and we wrote them together. Sorry, now I'm rambling, but
no, it's important.
He came in. Thank you.
Yes,
he came in and pitched the idea, and I said, no, I don't think. Let's just do something else.
So before you could even be like, yeah, this is my character, it was pitched to you, and you were like, that what? No.
Yeah, and he kept, after a couple weeks of him pitching it and us deciding to write other things, I finally just said, okay, fine, let's try to write this just to shut him up so he wouldn't pitch it anymore. And then we kind of stumbled on the idea to do the 3 short films instead of a sketch, and then it started, then it all came together.
It actually turned into
we didn't think that it would be anything we'd ever do more than once.
Well, whose idea was it to make it a movie?
Well, we had done it a bunch of times, and then there was this opportunity that came up where I think Pepsi had approached Lauren about doing some kind of SNL Super Bowl commercial. And so Lauren came to us, I guess, thinking that MacGruber, since it was a short film, it might translate to a commercial. So we started thinking of ideas for this Super Bowl commercial for Pepsi, and then they kind of got cold feet and they said, maybe it was because it was MacGruber, and they're like, no, that's all right. But we were so deep into the process,
or something with a little more.
We were so far along, and Lauren just said, "You know what? Let's make them anyway. We'll try to make them so good that they'll change their mind." And we made them and showed them, and Pepsi said, "Yeah, we will show that." We made 3 of them. The first one was the one that I loved, and it kind of set up everything. It revealed Richard Dean Anderson as MacGyver, which was really fun. And then we made 2 just for the internet, because we usually make 3 anyway. And then for some reason they put the second one on instead of the first one. I think probably because it made sense still, but I would have gone with the first one.
Right. Now,
how hands-on are you in the creative
I'm sorry
process?
to Pepsi. I'm not trying to
bring
crap
back
on
Crystal Pepsi, by the way. How hands-on are you in controlling with MacGruber in this new film or in the new series? Do you find yourself you're obviously very creative and very hands-on, but is it something that you can walk away from and let others take control?
I'm very bad with letting other people take control. Unless in MacGruber, it's I got, Jorma and John Solomon, we all wrote that together. Jorma directed it, and you build up this trust and a shared sensibility.
Yeah.
And in this, it's such a different situation. John Solomon is one of the writers there too, and he's been directing episodes. Chris and Phil I've known forever, so they directed the first 2, and it's really easy to give your trust over. But then when some new director comes in that you have never worked with before, and you're trusting that they get your sensibility, it's hard to, until you really get to know these people, it's hard to give over that trust. So I'm still learning to do that, but it's been a great experience so far, but it takes a while for me to kind of loosen my grip.
Yeah.
My icy grip.
When you're on SNL, though, and Lauren picks your sketch for the Pepsi commercial, does that finally give you a sense of confidence of like, I'm good here?
Oh, I was very excited that was a cool thing to hear. Yeah, because it's an interesting place, and the best job I've ever had. I'm so thankful to Lauren, but it's a stressful job at the same time, and you're always tired because you're working really hard, and it's hard not to get into your head at times, so it's really nice to get little votes of confidence like that.
Is it easier to include? I guess it depends on the skit, but like specifically for MacGruber, is it an easier thing to add in the curses because like the movie's filthy, and I don't think like you can't obviously do anything as filthy as that movie on network or most cable channels.
Yeah.
But it completely, because when the movie came out, I'm sitting there going like, how do you turn a 30-second skit into a movie? Like, this isn't going to work. and then I watched the movie, and it's the fucking funniest thing that came out that year.
Just throw a bunch of F-bombs and dick
Right.
jokes in there.
Right. Like, did you find it, like, was there a freedom to being able to be completely unrestricted with language and sexuality and all that stuff?
Oh, absolutely. And I'll tell you, that was one of the hardest things about doing the show at Fox, The Last Man on Earth, because I just always thought it was more of a cable thing. And I'll say that was a fear going in, like, what am I going to do without my F words? And,
speaking of your babies.
And I'll tell you, the show is not wildly different from what it would have been had it been on cable. I mean, you can't swear, but that's basically it. There are a couple little things here and there, but they really let us, do the show we wanted to make.
Yeah, I was going to say,
didn't have to compromise.
You get away with
really
a
at all.
lot. It's not really, it's kind of rare that you can get away with, this is not a spoiler, but shit jokes on Sunday night is like not a typical thing for network TV.
A lot of people
so.
shit on Sundays.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think it's about time that population got spoken to, and this is the show for you.
Will, were you between networks was it a hard choice to go with Fox? Was it a time slot thing?
It's you work with the studio, and they are helping to make that decision. And for a large part, they're. I still don't know exactly how it works, but definitely it's a conversation we all had, and Fox was ultimately the place that felt like the right place to do it, and they've really been great to us, and I thought when we first came in that they were saying, oh yeah, this is a great idea, we love how it's different and this and that, and I just thought, oh, we're gonna go there and they're gonna suddenly do the old switcheroo and then say, but you got to change this and this and this, and they held up to their end of the bargain and let us do it.
We think it would add to the feeling of nothingness if we did it in front of a live studio audience.
Yes.
No, you don't
that's what
understand.
we're prepared to hear that
green
stuff, but we never did, and somehow, unless they within the next 2 days pull it down and make us change it around, it looks like we got to do the show we wanted to do.
Have you always been funny, or is that something that you developed?
Yes.
Yes.
No. I
next question.
I've
please.
always been loud and weird.
Because you were an athlete growing up, right?
I mean, just in the way that everybody's an athlete.
Well, I will tell you something. I was not an athlete.
Oh, really?
Up,
Okay.
so not everybody.
I'm a pretty good hack at everything. I'm a good skier. My dad was a skier, so he raised us, on ski team and stuff like that. So that's my main one. I played football in high school.
That's what I'm saying.
But I was small, but I got the heart of a lion.
Rudy.
And I will not go down without a fight, and I'm a hustler.
Yeah.
So I did pretty well, as an undersized, defensive lineman. I was a nose guard.
Mm-hmm.
No college career.
But most of the time, like, you hear from...
But I did play in the pros.
People who went straight through. Had a season with the Raiders.
Yeah.
Knee injury brought me into comedy.
Yes.
Because most of the time you hear from people that are either talk for a living or funny for a living or whatever, that they had to develop it because they weren't good at sports. So they had to figure out some way to function socially outside of that thing.
Well, I was never, ever good at sports to the degree that I would ever think I'd have a career in it. So the thing that I wanted to do was music. but I'm a crappy guitarist also. So I
that's another thing you're just a hack at. Like, you can pull it off,
yeah,
but you can't make it. We're not going to make a go out of this.
I had a buddy who was in a band. His name was Scott Thomas. It still is Scott Thomas. And he invited me to come be a part of this band. And it was a great band, but then the band broke up, and then I thought, okay, music's not in the cards, because I needed to be with people who were great musicians to cover up my bad musicianship. I was more like a band mascot, and
I could do background stuff. I got percussion skills.
I don't know. He does an amazing James Ingram medley.
It's
pretty phenomenal.
Thank you very much. Just once.
Very good.
You're proud
All
of?
the notes.
I used to not be able to sing at all, and then somehow through doing comedy, you start out by singing bad, And then you just get your confidence up. And now I love singing.
Well, no, go ahead, Katie.
Sorry, Sam. One of the most hilarious skits ever on SNL, which was a total time burglary, because I think I've watched it about 42 times, was the Peyton Manning locker room skit.
Oh, I love that one. Thank you.
Sam, are you familiar with this?
I'm not.
That's my favorite one I ever got
Was
to
that
do.
one of your favorite skits of all time?
Yeah.
It is. How would you even sum that up in a few sentences? It's hilarious. Amazeballs.
Do you know John Lutz? He was on 30 Rock as the writer. Lutz, and he was a writer at SNL, and so he had that song. We decided we were going to try to write something together that night. He came in and said, "Do you have anything for this song?" And I said, "I have always wanted to do this sketch where a coach comes in and gives this riveting motivational speech at halftime to his team and then plays a dumb song that's stupid." We wrote this whole sketch and we turned it in, and then John said, "You know what? You can't just sit there while you're listening to the song." My plan was just to listen to the song the whole time. And he said, "You should dance, do a stupid dance during it." And like, thank God he said that, or else
it's the best part of it.
That's my.
If you have
if
not
I had to pick
seen
one,
the
it's
skit,
my favorite one I've ever
It's
done.
one of the top SNL skits of all time.
Oh.
Must Google. Must YouTube.
Thank you.
Do you feel close about I mean, I know you weren't singing in that, but do you feel close about the musical skits because that's what you wanted to do?
Yes and no. I feel comfortable when doing them. It's fun to sing. I tell you, one of my favorite things to do on stage and off stage is sing with Jason Sudeikis. We sing, we go do karaoke all the time together. We haven't gone in a while because I've been working so much on the show, but we'll go, just the two of us.
What's like the
private
go-to
room
song?
karaoke. What do? We usually start with Always and Forever. We'll do REO Speedwagon. Our big one is I Can't Fight This Feeling.
That's huge.
And we'll get some deep cuts going. Oh, we like singing the song from Once. What's that? Falling Slowly. It gets very.
There's got to be strengthening for the
platonically
relationship.
romantic in there.
Well, that's what I was actually, because right during the last break, before you came in, I played the clip that Seth played on Late last night of you at his wedding.
Oh, jeez.
Doing this speech. And like in my mind, I guess it's because I read like Jay Moore's book and some of the horror stories of SNL. I kind of think of it as this place where like everybody's just fighting to get something on the air and everybody hates each other and blah, blah, blah. But then like you do stuff like that or talk about doing karaoke with Jason Sudeikis and it sounds just like there's just funny people that
I'll tell you what,
like
I'm sure that I can't speak for any other eras
and
of
that
the
was
show.
generations ago.
Yeah. And you know, I have heard there were some tense groups there. My group, every year I was there, it was a very supportive, wonderful group of people that are all still very tight. So yeah, we're all still buds, and Seth's wedding was so much fun, and everyone wants to get their sketch on, but everyone also wants the show to be good. So
Is it competitive?
Not.
In the pitch meeting, are you
It's
really
hard to say
selling
competitive. That's not quite the right word. Like everyone wants to do a good job, and everyone is working really hard, and you want your sketch to get on that you've worked really hard at. But nobody has animosity as long as the choices make sense and the best stuff gets on. You can't really fight it. Like no matter, everyone's working really hard. So it's and these are, you know, at times you're working so hard that maybe you'll go like, oh man, that should have gone in instead of that or whatever. That just comes up inevitably. But like the main thing is these are all your buddies. So you as bad as you want your sketches to get on, you want your friends to do well too. So
it feels like when there's a character that works, the other people on the show like also are happy that this character just exists.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah. I mean, if the show is doing really good, it's good for everybody in the cast. So.
Is it terrifying to leave SNL? Like, obviously you've had a lot of stuff since then. You did the McGroom movie, and then Nebraska, I'm sure, was a career changer in a big, big way, and now you have the series on Fox. But when you're first leaving SNL, are you like, you know, you might have your next one project planned out, but you don't have that thing that's going to be every week, every year, every season? Is it a terrifying ordeal?
Excuse me. This Red Bull, I had a Red Bull burp. it's very sad to leave.
Mm-hmm.
It was, these were, and I left during a period where nobody else really left. So it was, you're seeing all these people you've been friends with for a long time still there, and you're like, oh, they can do the show without me. And look, life has moved on. It's just really sad for a while. It's hard to watch the show for a while.
Yeah.
Just because you miss it so much.
I could have done a spot on Update this week.
Scary. I wouldn't say scary. And the only reason I say that is because I was a writer before I was an actor. And so I basically didn't think I didn't think this would ever happen. I certainly never thought Nebraska would happen.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought, okay, I'll kind of go back to being a writer.
Or go back.
If any acting stuff comes up, that'll be gravy. But, I loved being a writer, and I was content to go back. So that, I went into comedy saying, I want to write at Letterman, and I want to be on SNL. And I got both those jobs. So everything after that was gravy. Like it's, my dreams were fulfilled.
Plus, worst case scenario, you can tear up the slopes.
Yeah.
And just head up there and teach people. Just be a ski instructor.
No, but that's great too. It's like, I've got a wonderful family, so it's the entertainment industry is not the end all be all.
Yeah.
So
and you worked in finance before entertainment, right?
Yes, that sucks too.
Robert,
Go
this
back
is the
there.
best resume bullet.
Yeah.
He's a Donkey Kong champ.
You are?
I'm a man of jack of all trades. A man of all trades.
Do you know the name Billy Mitchell?
Oh yeah. What do you mean? Do I know Billy
Mitchell has been on the show before.
Has he really?
Oh yeah. With the USA tie and everything.
Where is that? Where does that stand now? Who is the Donkey Kong leader? Didn't some third person come in and?
Yes, it's like an Asian guy.
Okay.
I went to I did a live broadcast like 3 years ago from a Donkey Kong tournament in Jersey, and it was like the Kong off, and it was a big deal, except it was way out in Jersey. It was like pretty much Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
But Billy Mitchell was there, and Steve Wiebe was there, and everybody from King of Kong was there.
Yeah.
But like I felt like we were gonna, because me and my co-host at the time were kind of making a goof of the whole thing.
Yeah.
As you tend to do. And I thought we were going to get chased out with flaming pitchforks. They couldn't have hated us more for not taking the sport seriously.
So uncharacteristic of you, Sam.
Yeah, I know. Really, really weird. Really, really weird. Well, are you really Donkey Kong champion?
Oh no, I mean, I was
36. What's your highest ranking?
I was doing a movie called A Good Old Fashioned Orgy, and I would only be in every fourth day or so. And so I would, on those days I wasn't in, just to waste time, because it was in Wilmington, North Carolina. I don't really know anybody there. So there was this bar that had Donkey Kong, and I got into it, and I would just go and,
play Donkey Kong
all day. One of the guys who was a stand-in in the movie was part of that Twin Galaxies group.
Yeah.
And I think his name is Leo Daniels.
I was about to say,
Leo
Brian
Daniels.
Wasn't Brian Koo, was it?
No.
I've
Leo
memorized that movie.
There's King of Kong, and then there's another movie that's about
it's Chasing Ghosts.
Chasing Ghosts.
Yes.
And he's in that. I think he was the Tempest champion. He was the champion of a bunch, the high score holder of a bunch of those things. And I would come in and kind of report back my Donkey Kong scores. I didn't know what his affiliation was, his connection to Twin Galaxies. So he heard this, and we started talking about that, and he gave me some tips on how to, get past this one level. And then I went and I got this certain score, and I took a picture just to brag to people. I was not seriously bragging, but it was. I forget what it was, but he took it and had it verified and recorded and registered, and it was at the time the 29th highest Donkey Kong score.
Oh,
I want to be clear.
Realize we had a celebrity in
the 29th highest registered Donkey Kong score. There's a big difference.
Yeah, there's probably a large population that just plays Donkey Kong.
Yeah, and probably I don't know, but those people. You gotta work at it. It's nothing in life is free.
That's right.
And
that's right.
I really did it.
Well, congratulations, and congratulations also. A side note on your new series that's going to be on Fox Sunday at 9 p.m. It premieres. You've got my seal of approval for what it's worth. And the Sam Roberts seal of approval
Thank
is
you.
a big, big, big deal.
I love the seal, and thank you.
Before you go, Katie Linendahl, I told you, she didn't just bring you Red Bull. She told me during the last segment that she brought gifts for you.
What?
Yeah.
That's right. Katie?
Yes, there are gifts here for you. What? There is a Donkey Kong heat-changing mug.
It's a good thing you
These
brought
are
that
gifts
up.
appropriate because it's cold as balls here in New York.
Yeah, it is.
And a battery-powered heated scarf. What? We're just keeping it real.
Seems dangerous.
Can
I tell you a
Bachelor
quick-
thing where we're going to give you a rose because we know you're obsessed with The Bachelor.
I love it.
But this is kind of our equivalent.
This is
This
awesome,
is our
by
Chris
the way.
Soules moment.
Oh my God, I love this.
Will, we'd like to give you this rose. Will you accept?
Can I tell you a quick mug story?
Yes.
My buddy, this is awesome. I love this. My buddy has sent a mug to all of us. His name is Brian. I'll say his last name, Wilbur.
Brian Wilbur.
Brian Wilbur.
No, I'm not going to say his last name.
It's not Brian Wilbur.
That
Not
was
Brian-
not,
Brian Wilbur.
that did not exist. No, but he's this very funny guy. Okay, I'm not going to say his name. I'm going to tell you a different story about a different guy whose name is not Brian Wilbur.
That's a fictional name for the record.
Yes, exactly. This is not a good friend who's living in Los Angeles with his wife, Gabriella.
Wilbur.
Anyway, he sent all of us mugs that were just, they showed up and they were black and said, put hot cocoa in here and enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what's going on? He's a very funny person. Anyway, at some point, I actually heat up the mug and then pictures of his testicle appear all
Awesome.
over the place.
Awesome.
And so he sent this to several of our friends, and my buddy John Solomon, who's one of the MacGruber writers, subletted his place in New York over the summer and forgot that he left that mug there. So these, unsuspecting German tourists who were taking his place said, he checked in and said, "How's everything going?" "Everything is going fine. We love the testicles mug." Oh, man.
Well,
Brian, I'm sorry to out you.
Well, now you've got another mug.
It is by far not the most disgusting thing he's ever done. And I've done things that are way worse than him, so I'm not judging.
If you put anything cold in that mug, the Donkey Kong disappears and my shaft appears.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Get me some ice.
Katie created that for me. I appreciate that, Katie. And thank you for being here, Will Forte. Watch the show this Sunday. It premieres 9 p.m. It's a full hour, and it's a really good show. It's called Last Man on Earth. Thanks for hanging out. Katie, thank you for hanging out.
Absolutely, and that'll be on Fox.
Yes, on Fox. And that's it. That's all the time we have for you. We will see you next time here on Sam Roberts Show.